Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Bant Control with Up the Beanstalk and Malevolent Rumble to fill up our graveyard and put some UROs in there and put some sorceries and instants that Murktide can eat and help us find life from the Loam, which can help waste lock our opponents. It's pretty sweet. Like, this deck has a lot of synergy. We've got 5 main deck force effects. We've got 8 exile-based removal spells, and of course we've got the magical beanstalk that we're going to be climbing as much as we can and pulling ahead. We've got 3 Tamiyo to give us incremental advantage early on and to serve as an alternate win con. We've got 3 Murktides to close. This deck has a total of 11 cards to trigger Up the Beanstalk, which feels great. In the sideboard, we have Terminus for creature strategies. We got 2 Wrath of the Skies because I'm encountering so many Saga decks. And this deck is one of the first decks I've played that can actually support double white. Usually I'm like struggling to do so, but we have a lot of white sources. We've got like 5 white sources in the deck. And then we also have 2 Endurances, which are good against Oopsal spells. They're great against Delver type decks. We've got 2 Carpets, which are also good against Delver. We have a Ground Seal, which is like our 3rd graveyard interaction spell, 3 Hydroblasts, 3 force negations, so a total of 8 forces, which gives you like a 65% chance of having a force in any given hand. And we've got a Lavinia who's really good against Omniscience, which is Omnitel decks I think are on the rise. They're very good. So we're going to hope to hit Domain. We're going to hope to go up the Beanstalk. We're going to hope to fill up our yard with tasty goodies. And we're going to hope to bring back URO and just value the heck out of our opponents and stop whatever they're doing and take over the game, make the game last a really long time, use our entire clock, and punish strategies that are not that are too linear, and also punish strategies that are too kind of big and open. Because I do think that decks that can't close fast enough, URO is a great tool for taking over the late game. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against an unknown opponent. Good luck, have fun. Let's dive in. This seems like a pretty flexible hand. I love the Malevolent Rumble. We don't have a force, but I'll keep it. They haven't mulliganed. Hopefully we're in a fair mirror. If they're like a Delver deck or Windswept Heath, probably like a forest deck, like Depths maybe? Greenstone for... Okay, this is classic Depth opening. I love it. It's no problem. We can handle this. Force. Not a bad time to draw a force. If they're a Depths deck, they probably play Wasteland, which I'm chill with. I could just play on basics. I'm not worried about them wasting us. I'm just going to play Tamiyo, and we're going to pass. Tamiyo can start racking up clues. Tamiyo is also very good at getting in the way of a Merit Lage token that's trying to kill us. Malevolent Rumble plus Murktide is quite the combo. I don't want to have to pitch Murktide if I can avoid it, but I will. I think this Malevolent Rumble token, the Eldrazi spawn, if we don't use it, is maybe a good... Oh, they're on Bant. Nadu. Well, let's say no to Nadu. They are tapped out. They could have force. Okay. Okay, so they're on Nadu. So they're on the old school Bant Nadu, I think. Beanstalk is freaking correct. They could Nadu again and have the combo, and that would be embarrassing. But I think it's... do we invest in a Beanstalk? We can do that, or we can invest in Rumble. I think it's better to invest in Beanstalk. Let's grab Trop here. If they have a second Nadu, it's going to be such a tragedy. I'll go ahead and come in for a hug first. Green mana, Beanstalk. Leyline Binding. And we can go fetch the Xander's Lounge, and we can use it. But they could just have Nadu plus freaking... Oh no, what is this? 4 mana? Oh, they're just going to go get another Nadu. That's fine. I'm just going to plow it and give them a card. Huh. Do we want to plow, or do we want to go ahead and draw a card? We need to get this out of play. I think it's fine to draw a card here. I'm going to go get the Lounge. Plow is more flexible. We can use it later. Another Leyline Binding. That's really good. All right, we're in. We are going after Nadu. They reveal Teferi to bounce the Leyline Binding. Such a beating. That's such a beating. Well, we'll plow them the second time, and they're going to get so much value. Gosh, that sucks. And we didn't find our force. One of our 5 forces. Not that we want to find a force now. So this turn we can plow and Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's fine. They can still Teferi and still Nadu. But now they can't Nomad, which is the scary thing. Yeah, we get that back. Halfling. Halfling is pretty terrifying too, but like they're not going to have a Nadu to Halfling with. Okay, so first things first. I think they may play multiple Teferis, but multiple Teferi under here, if they bounce the Teferi, then they get a one with higher loyalty. They get a card. It's not the end of the world. It's not great. I think I'm going to attempt to Leyline first because I actually care most about the Plow resolving. But we do want to get the Teferi out of the way. All right. So one Nadu is in the grave. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Plow here. Wait, yeah, I've already made my land drop. So yeah, this is my last white. Let's hope this works. They get a trigger. Zenith, so they can go get another one. Okay, let's stay calm. I think Rumble is better than cracking a clue here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and tap out. We don't have white anyway, so I guess I'll take a Strand. Not the most exciting. Okay, and we'll pass. So we can bind the other one, but if they find a Teferi, now there will be a Leyline binding that has a Teferi under it. And if they find the combo, the game just ends. If they find a Nomad to go with their Green Sun. We can Malevolent Rumble and maybe find a third Leyline. They can shuffle their deck with this. They have a land drop. Okay, there's the Zenith. They've gotten so much value off Nadu. They've gotten 2 cards. Plus they got the card from bouncing Teferi. Okay. They're going to combat, which makes me think they don't have Nomad. Because why subject Nomad to days risk? Okay. Let's draw a force. Okay, so I think plowing is fine. Because I don't really want to Leyline bind it. I'll go ahead and play this out. Let's go ahead and plow. They're fetching. This could be like a brainstorm. Oh, it's just a hedge maze? Okay. For the record, I think my Bant Beach deck is way better than this deck that we're playing. Nomad, okay. So I don't play Nomads. So if they find another one, it's just lights out. So they did successfully force. Their hand is Nomad, but they're going to draw another card when we Leyline bind. I think it makes sense to go ahead and Rumble just in case we find a Beanstalk. No, that doesn't. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, actually, we could Beanstalk if we find one. Let's Beanstalk. I'm going to take this. If I take the hedge maze, it actually puts URO in the yard where it's easier to bring him back. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll just put, I'll take the hedge maze. Again, I don't want this card, but bringing URO back sooner rather than later to close the game seems good. Okay. And now we're going to bind. And again, if they draw like a freaking Teferi or something, the game is just over. That resolved. Now we target. Okay. Lush Portico. It's not the end of the world. So they have their dinky little Nomad, but if they draw a Teferi, the game is over. I might be able to brainstorm into something that stops it. I also can sacrifice these to crack a clue if I need to. So we're not dead on board, but they do have a lot of paths to a final Nadu. They're opting not to play out the Nomad, which I think is probably smart considering the amount of removal in our deck. Okay, so we're going to get URO back. Force is great. Okay, I feel a lot better now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get URO back. I could dump this first. What would I be looking for? I don't think Loam doesn't really matter. Like, we're way too late in the game to be wasting stuff. I probably actually would waste this just to reduce the impact of them finding their last Nadu. We could go ahead and brainstorm first. We do need a second green source here. So I'll just, let's see, is it first? I think it is because we have so much jank in our hand. There's the risk that we don't find a blue card to go with our force. They may have hardcast force here. That's what they're doing. That is okay. Let's go get a second green source. Let's get another Trop, I guess. In this epic, whoa, no, I'm going to get a Savannah here just for more white. So we go green, blue, green, blue, URO. Exile a bunch of lands. URO's back. I think forcing URO might have been better. I mean, it is going to come back. Let's go ahead and do this. And now I'll just play a land out. And What I can do is if I need to draw this Plow, I can by just cracking a clue, and then I can go fetch. And I do not have a white source that is fetchable, unfortunately, so I won't be able to cast it. All right, that is great for us. Okay, now we just start attacking, and it's just gonna be a long grind. Leyline Binding is great. I think we just chill with all this interaction up. I can crack these clues in the instep. Let's crack some clues. Beanstalk's good. Clue. All right, Forest, sure. We've won the game functionally. I don't think that they can catch up here. I'll just play this Wasteland out just to take some time off the clock. Yeah, I think they've accepted that they've lost the game, and they're just like eating up our clock because we are a slow player and we are on a slow deck, and that is fine. I'm not going to be salty about that. Let's go ahead and go to combat. We can put this Forest in. I think Forest is good because I'm actually not sure if I have very many fetchables left in the deck. Double Force up and a Plow and a Leyline Binding that draws us 2 cards. I think we got this. They can cast Uncounterable with Halfling, but I'm not going to sweat it. Prismatic Ending. Let's just force this. Blue, green, blue, and I'll just sack this. And I guess I'll sack this one too. I just don't want to get caught without interaction here. Get 2 cards. Caracas, that's nice. Yet another answer. Okay, and now I think we can just Plow this in step just so we get it out of the way. So we have fewer attacks that we need to do. I'll go ahead and fetch and just then. Okay, no more fetchables except for our planes in the deck. That's good to know about. Okay, I'll play this out first. Now we'll go to combat, and we're fighting against the clock. I will put this planes in. They can play the Nomad for another turn cycle if they'd like to stall me out further. That's fine. Their own Caracas. That's annoying. We do have a Wasteland left on our deck, and we have Life from the Loam, which I don't believe is in exile. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to make it take a little bit longer to win, unfortunately. I'll play that out. I'm just going to go ahead and go to attack. They're going to bounce it. That's fine. Yep. Okay. All right. Oh, I freaking passed through my turn. That was a mistake. Sorry, my excellent friends. I clicked too quickly there. We just need to find a Murktide, which we have 2 of in our deck. I'll just go look for it. There's a Murktide. I will just take the Murktide here, and then we have Force to protect it. Blue, blue, Murktide coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. Draw 2 cards. I will use this Rumble, I guess, just to see if I can find another Murktide. Leyline Binding. Put some more cards in the graveyard. And then we can just go ahead and draw through our... let's do like this. Just arrow real quick. Again, we're using up clock, but... Oh, did we find it? We did find it. Yeah, I think it's fine. It draws us like lower. It buffs our Murktide. I'm just going to say done, and then I can get a Wasteland back next turn. Just going to pass. Again, if they have a Plow, I kind of have to force it, which does open the door for them comboing us. We have 2 Beanstalks in play. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think we do want to force this. We draw 2 cards. Hopefully we draw a Brainstorm. What are they drawing? What are they doing here? They're Hardcasting Force on top of our Beanstalk trigger. Okay, so we do get the 2 cards, and we have a decent chance of finding a Force here. We got another Murktide. That's unfortunate, because we're going to draw 2 cards when we Murktide. Let's discard this. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have put back the Loam. It doesn't matter. I can't win with URO anymore. I have to win with Murktide here. So if they have another Plow, that's just game. It sucks, but this is what the game is. Let's go to Merc. 1, 2, 3. Might as well put some cards under here, right? How many? I think we may have used all our forces. So this might be the last stand here. And I don't think you can loam if you don't have... I don't think you could dredge if you don't have anything left. I don't think that matters. Do we have any forces left? 1, 2, 3, 4 forces. Let's discard this. Do you have a flyer or a plow? It's crazy that we're just getting decked. But that's what's happening. If they have a Nadu here, a Nomad, okay. And then they can Nadu and they can just draw a whole bunch of cards. I can't interact, sadly, because of my own Beanstalk. This is the Green Sun Zenith. Okay. Now they have Nadu. Again, I can't interact with this, unfortunately. I can Caracas it back to hand so it doesn't... But if they find a Plow, that's the game. Yeah, I need to wait. Okay, they found a Green Sun. Okay, I'm going to yield until here. So they get their Ponder. That can help them find a Plow. 7 Safekeeper. Okay, I think they're done. Unless they can Ponder... And then, but they can't cast any more creatures unless they have another Nomad they want to play out. And then they get 2 more looks, but then they have to find land and a Plow. So we just Caracas this out of the way and we hit them for lethal. And it's important to do this now. Okay. I don't think they have a way to win now. We just attack for lethal. That was a heck of a game. We have one more Merc in our deck too, that we were potentially drawing to. I think we're playing the 3 Mercs. Yeah, we're heavy on Graveyard, but it is easy to deck yourself. It's pretty easy to deck yourself with this deck. So let's think about, like, they have like weenies and stuff. Wrath of the Skies does kill their weenies. I think it might be worth playing. Endurance could, help us not get decked. I feel like that's probably wrong. I don't expect any sort of non-basic land hate, so I think we can take these out. I mean, there's a possibility that they're playing Harbinger of the Seas, but I just can't see it. I don't think it's good in their deck. They might play it, though. So maybe we take the island out instead of the plains. We still have plenty of initial blue sources. We've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is kind of light on blue. Yeah, I'm just going to pull out these other non-basics. So I'll keep the island. Okay, and now Loam... Is that worth it? We're so low on time. I don't like to Loam when we're low on time because it's like there's so many clicks. So I think maybe I put the lands back in. We could put a carpet in, but they won't necessarily have a lot of green sources. I think we play the second Wrath. Terminus is probably just as good as Wrath here, but I already confirmed with Wrath. Wrath is a little more flexible because you can just cast it, whereas Terminus you have to be in like precisely the right situation. Our opponent's up 6 minutes on us. This is not a keep. This is keep. I'm going to put back Rumble. Rumble does fill up our yard for an early Murktide. I'm going to put back the island. And we will curve Surveil into Tundra probably. Leyline Binding is a great rip. Now I'm thinking we curve the other card into Savannah. The other card being Xander's Lounge. Surveil doesn't really matter that much. I'm much more interested in just having Leyline Binding up after we cast this Beanstalk. Our opponent has a halfling. That is problematic. Okay, so yeah, I just want to remove that halfling. It slows them down. Is that correct? Let's go ahead and get the lounge here. They could just win next turn if we don't have Leyline Binding up. It's possible they don't have another land. I'm going to go ahead and just... If I had a turn to set up, it'd be so good. Yeah, I'm gonna Savannah here. I think I am going to take a risk here that they don't have the full combo. Green, blue. Because drawing extra cards and getting ahead of them is like really good. Okay. So we don't have any force effects. We're like completely naked if they just, have Nomad and Nadu, and we'll just concede if they have that. Carpet, that's good for us that we grab the Savannah there. They only get 1 extra mana. They have Arbor. Okay. So this isn't that bad. This is not that bad. Now, we don't have a basic plains in our deck, unfortunately, so we are going to feed them. Okay. All dressed up with nowhere to go. I'm fine with that. Okay, so options. 1, we could brainstorm and then maybe find a fetch. We could shuffle away some of the redundant like cards we have. We could get lucky and Beanstalk. I want to go ahead and brainstorm just to make sure we find a land. I mean, Malevolent Rumble is even better at finding land. Okay, we found a land and we found double force. This is good. So I think we put back Rumble and we put back one of these Leyline Bindings. We'll draw it. I'm going to feed them, but I'm going to get a Beanstalk on the table. And now that we have double force up, they're not going to be able to get Nomad through. And then we just start binding all their permanents. We can bind that. I'll start by binding the halfling. That sounds really rude. I'm going to bind that halfling. Like the Binding of Isaac. Very crazy game. Come on. Put the Green Sun Zenith on this deck. You know you want to. Yep, that's why this deck is not as good as Nadu Beach, because you can't exploit the uncounterability. Veil. Well, that's rude. I would think I'll draw some more cards, and I'll stop that. Do they have mana to Veil a second time? They do not. This worked out perfectly. Okay, so we get our cards. Kinetic card. Gambit always says that in like I think in one of the video games. I can't remember which one. He's like, kinetic card, kinetic card. It's very cool. I love when superheroes announce the move they're making. They don't do that in the Marvel movies usually. Okay, so now we've got a lot of good stuff going. I think Caracas is nice because it doesn't feed the carpet. I think we just start by... I am going to play this out, and then I'm just going to immediately bind, just to draw some cards, and I'm going to get rid of their halfling. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, we only have 2 islands in play. Yeah, I'm more scared of uncounterability. Okay, and now we could go ahead and just URO and get another land in play and then bind again if we need to. Green, blue. Yeah, I think actually I am going to bind the carpet now since I'm going to have so many lands in play. Okay, we've got a lot of rumbles that we're not wanting to cast, and that is kind of like par for the course, unfortunately. I'm going to go and get a Tundra here. This is our last white source. We're going to bind again. We'll hit the carpet. We hit a force. That's great. All right, buy carpet. And we'll pass with tons of cards on the table. Yeah. All right, I'm feeling favored. Now they have the mana that they could just do the combo, but I do have a force. That is precisely what you want to see at this point in the game. Let's bring back URO. Fetching. They have like an endurance. I'll force an endurance. They will not have Veil mana up, so that they will be having to force themselves. We have 35 cards on our deck. I'm not worried about deck points here. Let's force that. I'll pitch Tamiyo. I don't think we need her with all the cards we're drawing. My opponent is letting that resolve. Yes. Okay. And now, I mean, we're so far ahead. Like, yeah, they scoop. Okay. That felt dominant. Felt great. We didn't lose a game there in that matchup. Yeah, it's awesome. Let's go to the next one. Deck feels great. I do feel like we have too many rumbles. I feel like 3 is probably the correct number. But it may be that, we're just getting the luck where we have so many beanstalks, because we are getting lucky with drawing beanstalks. Round 2, we're 1-0. We're up against an unknown opponent. We're on the draw. They've already mulliganed. This is a force blue card hand. I love the Malevolent Rumble. Leyline could be good. I'm going to keep this. So if we go fetch the lounge, then we do have Leyline Binding available, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to cast out this Tamiyo until I'm pretty sure what they're on. They played Storm in the past, so I just want to be a little careful. If we draw a blue card, I can play it. Okay, I can play it. I think I'm going to go ahead and get on board. All right, and we don't have to worry about like Entomb Reanimate anymore, which is such a relief. I mean, we still do, but the deck is definitely less strong now that Troll's not in it. Okay, Hedge Maze. So this is probably usually Nadu variety. It could be just like a straight up control deck like we're playing. I mean, we have a Hedge Maze in our deck. Okay. Bant Beans. We are going to force those beans. All right. They're down to 3 cards. Damn, do they mull? How many times do they mull? Just a 6. Okay. Well, we're already in a pretty good position. I think we rumble. Activate our rumble pack. Looking to put an URO in the bin. URO could get loose next turn. That'd be pretty sweet. Boom. This is kind of like Beanstalk number 5 through 7. It's not nearly as powerful, but yeah, and this is why. Like, we're getting a land. I don't think the basics going to matter. We do kind of start to run low on fetchables if we start taking fetches too many times. I don't want to ETB tap land. I'm going to take that Misty. And we filled up our yard with lots of juicy stuff. I am so allergic to ETB tap lands. It's like a huge deal for me. And that's why we're only playing 2 in the deck, and I can't countenance playing the Mystic Sanctuary anymore. All right. Bug Beans. Love to see it. Love to see the Beans resurgence. Okay, so options. I think the best option is just to keep up Leyline Binding. We don't technically have double Leyline Binding. We do have double Clue Crack, though, if they try to Fatal Push this. See, I think we just chill. Actually, yeah, they have to Fatal Push now, and then we have double Clue Crack. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go for the draw here. We could end-step Leyline Bind. I'm trying to think of like a situation where we would need to do that. I don't think we need to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and just crack with what I have on the table. Here's the Bowmaster. Is it going to ping our spawn? Or is it going to ping us? They are choosing to ping us. I could have cracked the second clue there. I think it's okay. I can remove the Orc Army. Actually, you know what? I can remove the Orc Army next turn. Maybe it makes sense to go ahead and draw. Let's see what I draw here. I can't remove it if I fetch the... Wait, they targeted this? So I can just sack this. Okay, and then I'm just going to go get the land. And next turn, I'll go get the thing. And I can take out their... Yeah, I'm just going to be mana efficient here. Let's get a Savannah because they do play Wasteland. No. Let's get another Tundra. Since we already have Unimpeachable Green. Okay, they get a second trigger. We got another Rumble. That's good. So if we need to, we can... I think removing the Bowmasters is fine. They don't have enchantment removal in black. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for it. I'll get this. I'm going to go to combat first because I want to make sure I have a clue in case I have to brainstorm for some reason. But now I have 1 mana Leyline Bindings, which is pretty good. Let's bind. All right, I will take out your Bowmaster. They may have Brazen Borrower, which is noteworthy. I think this is a clear window where I can just get flip my... Do I want to flip? I think I can chill for a turn cycle. I mean, I can always bind another one if I need to. I could have rumbled there, but I would hate to get something dazed at this point in the game. I don't know if that's likely. We could still lose if they get Beanstalk going. Ponder's fine. I just hope they get tired of me creating clues and push my Tamiyo. Orcish Bowmaster is definitely the mirror breaker. And I do think their deck's probably favored. It's fine, I'll take it. All right, and let's see if we can go ahead and get the other Bowmaster to come out here before we try to brainstorm. Okay, no Bowmaster, that's nice. All right, so we can start wasting them off of green because we do have Life from the Loam. I think that's fine. We could also try to get an URO going. I'm going to go ahead and start by attacking. And if I can get them to fetch, that's great because I do want to keep them off green. I think it's unlikely that they have URO in their deck. They almost certainly have a basic swamp, but I doubt they have a basic green. Like a forest. Sorry, one of the most fundamental cards in Magic, and I'm stumbling over his name. I'm just thinking, I think it's fine to Loam. We can get 3 cards. We won't have to discard anything. We will. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Loam, and I'll get the waste, and I'll get a Hedge Maze for URO. Okay, and then we can waste next turn. And my plan is to just keep wasting their green sources until they can no longer cast things like Pernicious Deed if that's in their deck. It's probably in their sideboard. Okay, well, I am going to attempt to brainstorm here. Okay, they're fetching. We got movement. They're going to Bowmaster. They did bring out their green source. So I think we don't want... Okay, we could just take the hits and then we hit the Orc Army and then our Bowmaster survives. We'll see what they point... No, we don't really... Yeah, if they point it at Tamiyo dies anyway. But I'm more worried about this giant orc army at this point than I am about this. But if their last card is Daze, we're taking a lot of damage. The first ping goes to us. Oh, yeah, it's still our turn, so they can still hit our thing. We could just Loam to avoid one of the cards. Okay, so check this out. The first trigger goes on the stack. They have to point it. Oh, no. I am going to take this replacement effect to avoid losing her. And then we'll put this back. We'll put this back, I guess. And now they're targeting me with those. That's fine. Okay, she flips. Now the Murderous Cut is on the stack. I'm going to go ahead and just Leyline Binding. And I'm going to take the Orc Army. They scoop. Wow. Yeah, that felt great. We were going to have Tamiyo, like, they'd be able to attack for 1, but then we'd be able to start going up. All right, Bowmaster. They have Murktide in their deck almost certainly. Carpet is good here. I'm so excited to be playing Beanstalk Mirrors. Like, thank you, Wizards, for freaking banning Sowing Whack Spawn so that we can be doing this. Ground Seal doesn't really do anything. Endurance is pretty good at like sniping their creatures and keeping Murktide out of the sky. Negation comes out. It's just not good. Lavinia, they do play cards that cost a lot of mana, but they also have a lot of mana. So this really just shuts off Force. We can't really cut any of our creature removal. I don't want to cut Life from the Loam because I feel like if that's waste locking and is like totally legit. They have 2 basics in their deck and they're a 3-color deck. They have 2 Murderous Cut, but they also have a lot of Fatal Pushes. We could just take out Tamiyo, but she did draw us a lot of cards there for 1 mana. I need to make a decision here. They may think we're 4-color beans, and they may bring in Harbinger. Wrath of the Skies is a really good card if we're behind and we need to remove a lot of stuff. Gosh, this is really hard. I genuinely don't know how to sideboard. I feel like Leyline Binding is good. Leyline Binding is less good considering they are going to be constricting our mana. They may bring in some sort of enchantment wipe. I don't know. I think cutting 2 Leyline Binding is fine, and I just need to make a quick decision here. Just having 1 Endurance is probably fine instead of 2. Yeah, let's do that. So the reason I'm cutting Leyline Binding again is they're a Wasteland deck, and we probably will want to fetch our basics. Like they fire a single Wasteland at Xander's Lounge, and we have like a terrible, like basically a traditional Oblivion Ring. Like you have to pay 3 mana for it. And that's assuming that we actually have the cards we want. This is a Force Blue card hand, and I do like that. I want to be able to stop a quick... so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Misty for Hedge Maze, and then I'll Tundra, and then I'll Rumble. And if that resolves, then our mana problems will probably be fine. Otherwise, we could get wasted out. They're a 4-waste, probably 3 days, 1 Spell Pierce build, if they're playing anything like what I was playing back when I used to play Beans. Back before Modern Horizons 3 ruined Beans. All right. Backup Force. I think Malevolent Rumble is really good in this matchup, though, because it gets us lands, gets us mana, and it fills up our yard, and they're likely playing some Spell Bombs. One of the weaknesses of this deck is without a graveyard, we can't really win. We have Leyline Binding to remove cards like Leyline of the Void, but we do need cards in graveyard for Murktide and for URO, which are our only 2 ways of dealing damage. Would not be surprised at all to see a Daze into a Wasteland, but I am going to not live on basics. We've got a 3-color deck. We need to act like it. Okay, no Stifle. That's a good start. Hedge Maze. Wasteland is a snap keep on top. So the safe thing to do is just go ahead and play the Wasteland out, and then we at least can preserve a blue source, blue-white source. I think I'm here for that. Let's Rumble. I love this card. This is like, I know it was designed to be like a, big mana ramp type deck card, but it fits so well into URO decks. It's not even funny. I didn't even know this was printed. I'd never even heard of it. I think I saw like Bosch and Roll and a few other people playing with it, and I was like, what? This has been out for almost a year, and I haven't heard of it. All right, we didn't whiff. That's good. You can whiff. Our graveyard is stocked with delicious spells. We are also daze proof now because of the Eldrazi spawn. That's pretty awesome. The fact that this basically pays for itself is so good. It doesn't basically. It pays half. It gives you the colorless 1 back. Shout out to my friend Randy from Boardwalk Games, Dallas, Texas. one of the best shops, or like the main place people play Legacy Weekly in Dallas. He's given me a play set of these. He just had a bunch lying around. Witherbloom. Well, I'm going to add mana, I guess. What are they? They're just going to return a land? Yeah, I'll add mana. That is not a card that you generally force unless they're killing your flip Tamiyo. But that is a very cool card. I love me some Witherbloom. Right, and we're losing our mana, but it's okay. We made it through. Wastelanding doesn't have a ton of appeal. So they returned to Polluted Delta and then they played it. Okay, this is good. So I think what we do is we just URO. Yeah, I'm going to URO. They can daze this if they want, but URO will be back. URO will return. All right, Beanstalk. Love to see it. Let's pass. Now they're not even really sure what to waste this off of because like the double green is what propels the URO. I would love to find a fetch so we can get the lounge so that we can leyline protect our Beanstalk. But we are going to have force up. I've been pretty careful about daze protection throughout this entire match. And we'll see whether it pays off. Yeah, I think they have Bowmasters now. Okay, so options. If we get into a fight and they do resolve the... yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to rumble again. It's safe to do so. And if we find a fetch, then we can turn on Leyline. Or we can just find the freaking card itself. I don't want to put that in my graveyard. I think it's right to just take the Xander's Lounge and we can just play it out. And then next turn, yeah, it sucks to put all that stuff in our yard. Like the fact that we're putting a Beanstalk in our yard probably tells our opponent that we already have a Beanstalk. But, we have this spawn token. So we could go green, colorless, Beanstalk. And then we have Force and Leyline if they let the Beanstalk resolve. Yeah, and then we can force the fight over once it's in play. I'm potentially giving them a lot of mana. This is aggressive. So the real question is, do they play before the Beanstalk resolves? Well, I am going to force here. I'm going to pitch Tamiyo. I think like Tamiyo would help us draw back into it. Okay, so Veil. If we pitch and they have a follow-up Veil, we're totally screwed. We're like so far behind the 8-ball. But if this resolves, it's really good. I'm going to try it. Because it's like a 2-for-1 basically. Because they would draw a card. Okay, now Bowmasters is coming in. They're letting this resolve first. Okay, so we have to let the Bowmaster resolve with the ability on the stack. Oh wait, it's in. And I do want the card. I'm okay with buffing their creature. But I do want the card. Okay, hear me out. We could wait a turn cycle. Then we have Leyline up in case of an emergency. They may be able to Witherbloom, or they have actually a fetch can recall the Witherbloom command. If they're playing Mystic Sanctuary. I am going to go ahead and bind now. I'm going to take a hit. I get a draw trigger. I'm going to try to remove that Orcish Bowmaster from play. Okay. They're going to probably take our Plow here, but the Bowmaster will be out of play. Now they have to choose whether they want to let us... they'll probably choose the Beanstalk. They chose the Plow. Interesting. They have another one? Ouchie. Okay, well, we're going to bring back an URO, and we're going to take a ton, but we're going to gain some life. We do have double green, double blue. They don't have a Wasteland? Okay. So we're going to take 4. I think URO will take over this game. Like, that Orc army is going to be annoying for a few turns. But we will... Oh, no, they do have the Wasteland. Let's see if they choose correctly. The correct thing to take is probably just one of the Trops. So it's harder for us to bring back URO. But this is what I was saying. Like, I do think that Bug Beans is favored in this matchup because of Orcish Bowmasters, and Witherbloom's very good against us as well. Best draw on our deck is probably... well, I mean, that still shuts off blue. Do we have Loam in our graveyard? Not yet. Okay, that was last game. All right. Better lucky than good. Blue, blue, green, green. We're going to take some damage here, but we are going to get a fatty on the table. Exile some lands. 1, 2, 3. Leyline Binding doesn't do anything in the yard. Beanstalk doesn't do anything in the yard. All right. We're back. And I think I hit the Trop just No, I'm not going to put a land into play. I think I go ahead and hit the Trop just to cut them off Witherbloom, because Witherbloom is quite powerful. All right, and we'll pass. They don't have good attacks unless they have a second Bowmasters. And if they kill this, I can just bring out the other one and trade with their token. Fatal Push would do it, though. Fatal Push, and they can get through. Pondering. Now they have to look for a green source in addition to something to do. And the minute we clear this Bowmasters, like, we're just going crazy with these Beanstalks. They probably don't have a way to permanently get rid of URO, so URO can just come back every single turn. Unless they also find a Wasteland. So I don't feel like we're totally unfavored here. But Bowmaster is a heck of a card, especially against our deck. I think Bowmaster stock goes up tremendously with the banning of Sowing Myco Spawn. And probably also with the banning of Troll, because now I think Blue-Black Tempo is going to be a lot better than Reanimator. And Blue-Black Tempo is going to be fighting very hard against these big Bant control decks. I do think Bant is the natural configuration. A lot of people will continue to play Grixis or Jeskai, but Bant just has it all. Like the best, engine cards. Oh, they did find a Wasteland. They don't have the second Bowmaster, otherwise they would have attacked there. All right, so we don't have a clean attack here. They can ignore URO and we just take a ton. They can waste us off a green source. Options. We could just make their Orc Army bigger and cast this Beanstalk. And in doing so, maybe find a Leyline Binding to get rid of the Orc Army. We could just kamikaze in, gain a bunch of life. They take it. We're losing the race. No, we're not necessarily losing the race. Because they hit back for 7, and we are at 17. And then we hit back again. They will eventually need to start chumping. If we just keep this around, if we don't attack, this is big enough. I think I'm going to go ahead and attack. This is a tough call. We gain a life. If we find a land that's really good because they're about to waste us, oh yeah, that's perfect. So now URO can come back. And I will be happy if they trade off this Orc Army. They're opting not to. Okay. And they don't have a way to gain life. We have lots of ways of gaining life in our deck. I think for the sake of mana efficiency, I could deploy these Beanstalks. They're risky though. But we're taking 7. We're taking 8 or 9 if we deploy the Beanstalk. I think we're winning the race. I'm just going to pass. If they find a Fatal Push, that changes things. This could be a Merc stock up. Okay, interesting. If they're playing stock up in their Beanstalk list, I think that's unnecessary. Like I have plenty of cards. Casting a stock up, a 3-mana spell, is the last thing that I want to be doing. Almost everything in my deck is like 2 mana. In fact, URO is the only 3 mana thing. But that is good, cards. They did tap out for that. So this time, Orcish Bowmasters, if we don't draw something, Karakas. So we kamikaze and we gain a lot of life. I hate to say this, but I kind of feel like brainstorming, because brainstorming gives us the most looks at a potential Leyline Binding or Plow. We have, how many Leyline Bindings have we gone through? We've only gone through 2. So we have 2 more and we have 2 Plows. And we can just chump indefinitely because we can keep bringing back every turn. I don't have a Wasteland in play. If we find a giant Merc, that just sails over what they're doing. They could have Merc in their hand. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and start with a Beanstalk. But then we can't bring it back. I'll just attack, and then I can do multiple shenanigans with URO. So we're going to attack. It's going to trigger. Put this in for sure. Okay, we did draw the freaking Merc. That's awesome. They're going to ping us. We're going to have a huge freaking Merc that can contend with this Bowmaster boy. They're going to block. I think I just return it to my hand. Okay. Now it's going to be an 8/8, which is just the right size to die to my Murktide in combat. We get a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue. I'd love to get a second Wasteland just to waste their Wasteland. Oh, perfect. We can cast that too. Actually, I think I'm going to go after their Underground Sea and just crimp their resources. This stops them from bowmastering or from making their own mark next turn. And now they are welcome to attack me, and I can just attack back and kill them. Unless they have Murderous Cut. If they have Murderous Cut, I might have to brainstorm. Is this blue? Okay. Ponder. I'm so envious of them for having a freaking bowmaster out. We don't have anything. Like I definitely considered playing Narset, but she just doesn't feel right yet. Maybe she will be. We won! They couldn't find a flyer. Okay, that was awesome. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, people complain about Bowmaster being like an overpowered card. It's a very powerful card, but it's far from an unbeatable card. I've seen Tony Scaponi just like laugh like when their opponent plays Bowmaster and then proceeds to draw like, down to like 1 life and then win. Yeah. So we haven't lost a game. We're doing great. See you in round 3. All right, bad matchup time. We're up against Mono Red Painter, most likely. His hand's fine. It's a Beanstalk hand. They're unlikely to disrupt our mana. We can keep ourselves from dying quickly. I swear, like, I've never played a deck with Tamiyo where I've been so disinclined to actually play Tamiyo out. I think it is correct to just hold her. Let's think about this. I mean, URO is probably the pitch. Yeah, I think we get Tamiyo out. And if we bait like their interaction, that's great. They play Painter almost exclusively. That's all they've been playing lately. So I do feel comfortable getting this trop. And they're not going to have soft permission, so it doesn't really matter what we pitch. So she'll be taking up. We're going to Beanstalk, and then we're going to hopefully force under the Beanstalk, over the Beanstalk. There's Painter. My instinct is to leave this. We've got 12. Yeah, I'm going to leave it. Hopefully they don't like blow up our land with like a Spirit Guide. That would suck. It shows black. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure the rationale in choosing black. Yeah, let's Bean. Mr. Bean coming out. Let's draw a trigger. All right, another Bean. Happy to see it. Maybe they don't want to turn on like our Force of Will to literally any card in our hand. But if they're not playing Pyro, they could have switched to Blue Painter, which would make sense. Why? No, it's red. So I think this is a force because we're going to draw a card, and this card is cracked. I'm going to pitch Brainstorm. No, I'm going to pitch URO because I can plus. Yeah, I'm cool with pitching URO here. Simian Spirit Guide, Pyro. Okay, and it's just hitting our force. They really want this Fable to resolve. All right, that's fine. So we draw a trigger. Xander's Lounge. Right. So we have a high priority thing that we need to kill now. This will give them card advantage. And okay, so options. One, we could just... I think we could attack and then Brainstorm. And then hopefully find a better land to play than Xander's Lounge. And we might be able to Rumble, depending on what we find. I think this is a Brainstorm situation. They're not going to be able to do enough damage to kill Tamiyo. Okay, Leyline Binding and a Plow is a great... Oh, man. If we just play out the Xander's Lounge, which we're going to have to do, then we have Leyline Binding up. What do we bind? They can blast our binding, which sucks, but I think we'd probably just bind this Servant. No, it doesn't matter when we do it, because if they have a blast, they can just... No, wait, they can't blast our stuff because they chose black. All right. So I'm not worried anymore. If we put... It's too bad we don't have anything to put in the graveyard with Rumble that we can get back. Like we don't have an URO. Oh, we don't have the third type for Lounge, so we're going to have to Plow if we do something this turn. Are there any of these cards not that useful? I think Murktide is going to be pretty useful if we Rumble next turn. So I think what I'm going to do is just... yeah, I do want to get another Beanstalk in. That way when I Murk, it'll go over the moon. I think Leyline Binding... Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to put away a Leyline Binding permanently. I'll just put it away for a turn. Okay, cool. Took a lot of deliberation, but I feel confident that I made the right call. Leave comments with timestamps if you disagree with any of my plays. It's super helpful. All right. I'm not going to interact with this. I'm going to try to Plow their Painter just to mitigate downside risk. But I want them to go deep on doing something like... I'm not going to do it before combat. Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter. I guess I could have plowed it to keep a loyalty on her, but I don't think it's a big deal. They have Fury Mana. If they want to kill our Planeswalker. Chaos Defiler. It's going to be pretty important that this Plow works. So I can't stop that on the stack. I'm just going to let it happen. They're probably going to go after Tamiyo. They might go after Beanstalk. It has to be non-land, so I'm not worried about them going after my Caracas. Now I'll wait for them to pass priority. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to this. That was a pretty big play there. Like, they exile red and they pyroblast Tamiyo. Doesn't matter. It's not that big a deal. And again, their decision to choose black, like, it's probably the second time it's proven to be bad. Okay, so we lost our Beanstalk. I think the simple thing to do is Beanstalk again. But I am a little bit worried if they just draw a Grindstone, we're just dead. I don't think we can do anything about it, though. Yeah, I'm going to go up the Beanstalk. I'm going to hold white open because, like, any fetch land and we can Leyline Bind. Okay, that's unfortunate. We'll just pass. So here they're going to flip this. Starting next turn, they can start copying Goblin Shaman and getting even more treasure. We're not in a horrible place, but I don't like where we are. Engineer is near death because they can put the Grindstone in the graveyard. So we have to take out Engineer. We can bind it. They put Phyrexian Dragon Engine in the yard. Okay, so they're not going for the Grindstone kill, it looks like. Okay, now we can plow this. And, I mean, neither of these we don't want either of these to come back. We don't have enough white is the thing. We could make a giant Merc and plow this. It's not going to change the fact that they can discard their entire hand. I think we actually have to plow this. It's tough. This is a tough matchup. Okay, so I want to land. If I can find a Plains, I can do everything. Let's find a Plains. I think this has to be a shuffle. It sucks that we have to shuffle it, but it is correct. Okay, if I can find a Plains, I'll say it again. If I can find a Plains, I can do everything. Oh, come on, deck. All right. Give me a land, please. Oh, it's not a land. Or it is a land. I'll take it. I'm going to play it. And we will just... I mean, it feels awkward to put that back here. We don't have the Plains. I think we need to hit the Engineer just to mitigate. No. I'm going to hit this. Yeah, I don't want them copying stuff. It sucks. We're like in a really tough spot here. They're going to refill their hand. They could find the Grindstone. It's back. They have tons of mana. If they draw Grindstone, we're just dead. I feel like we're so far ahead, but are we? It's just we're struggling to find the land. Another Fable. Okay, I don't feel very far ahead anymore. We're like gonna take some serious damage here. We can Murktide and draw a bunch of cards, and maybe, well, no, we're not gonna draw a bunch of cards. We're gonna draw one card, and okay, the other option is we just go ahead and go with the Malevolent Rumble, but we're gonna take so much damage next turn if we don't have a Murktide on the table. Murktide only draws one. I can Leyline Bind for 2 mana. That draws a card. But if I can Rumble into a freaking land, then I can Leyline Bind and Merc. Yeah, I think this is how it has to be. We have to get a Tundra specifically to be able to survive here. Okay, that works. So Plains... no, we'll just get a Tundra off this. And then we have Leyline Binding and Murktide. Let's go get our Tundra. I'm going to start by Murking and then... wait, if I Leyline Bind first, what do we Leyline Bind? I think we bind this because this represents the creature later. Then we take 6, 8. Well, we won't take that because we're going to block. They don't have anything to return. I'm thinking it's extremely hard here. Okay, so I'm going to Leyline Bind, and I'll draw a card, and we're going to take the Fable. That generates a lot of value over the next few turns, including letting them loot into something good. Now I'm going to go blue, blue. We're going to Merc, giant Merc. Let's go. I'm going to just make it full size. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue, blue. Please give me a blue card. All right, blue card. We're good. Now we're in a pretty dominant position. That was a great turn for us. And it is all thanks to Rumble finding us the fetch we needed to be able to get a Plains into the table so we have full domain. I guess technically we could have just used the spawn to pay. Ah, they're going for it. Okay. So what do I want to kill the most? If I kill this, they can just bring it back. I could chump it. They don't have an artifact to change it out with. I think, yeah, if I kill this, they can just bring it back using one of the treasure tokens. Okay, so I'm going to chump, and then I'm going to kill one of these. Then we're going to take 3, which isn't the worst. And now they don't have any good Goblin Engineer tricks. Fury doesn't kill it. Painter Servant, I think this is fine. Doesn't change the clock substantially. I need to save my force for the actual, big payoff spell, which will be like Grindstone or another engineer. All right. So we are kind of like on the defensive. Options. I think Rumbling first is fine. We might be able to find an URO, and that does change things. Another Beanstalk is not bad. I think Beanstalk is probably the best thing we can do here. So now we're going to go green, white, beans. Hopefully this draws into a land. Okay, there's URO. That's what we were looking for. Now, I'm not sure why my Tundra is Tundra is black and Tundra is like blacked out. I think we just pass and we have a chump for this. We could Tundra and Ponder. I don't think it hurts. We have something we're going to pitch anyway. Yeah, I want this Strand. Actually, I'm fine with taking a Forest and not taking the damage. Okay, thinking so hard here. All right, and we're just going to keep grinding them, basically. Lightning Bolting. What is this going to? Lightning Bolting their own dude? Deal. They can return it. Get a new hand. I can't stop that. I think it's fine. They do get an attack next turn. They got 3 cards. Okay, it's like a 3 for 1. Urza Saga does mean that the Painter Grindstone is... All right. So if they have the Blast, we're actually dead here. We double trigger. Ponder. Fetch. Okay, we survived. No, they can just return it. We lose. Yeah, and we don't have the ability to do anything here. Man, we worked really hard, but we didn't get there. Yeah, engineer resolving was catastrophic for us. We just couldn't interact. Okay, yeah, I feel like we played well, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have done better. Ground Seal does kind of matter in this, but it doesn't stop that one guy. What does matter, what is really good, is Wrath of the Skies. I think Terminus is pretty good too. So I think we bring those in. Hydroblast, obviously, very relevant in a mono-red matchup. Cards that are not particularly strong. Force Negation, I don't think is great. Tamiyo just sat in my hand the entire time. She felt pretty terrible. This gets killed, it comes back. If they're playing, okay, so sometimes Painter decks, let's take a look and see whether they're likely playing Blood Moon. Sometimes Painter decks do play Blood Moon. They hit 3 Blood Moon. I don't think we can cut the basics here, but I think we can cut Savannah. We could probably cut Hedge Maze. I don't know about that. They're not going to go after our mana though. They're just going to potentially play a Blood Moon. Life from the Loam Wasteland, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good enough. Wastelands are good because they stop Urza Saga. I mean, Endurance would have actually been pretty sick there. I think we bring in Endurance. Could we like cut URO? They didn't see URO, did they? I mean, my instinct is just take out the Tamiyos. They do create clues and stuff, but we never had mana to crack them. Flipping her, she dies to a blast after you put all the work into flipping her. Need to make 2 more cuts. I think Terminus is worth playing. Wrath of the Skies is so much better though. Yeah, I think Wrath is probably plenty. And then we could probably cut a Murktide since we have Endurance. I mean, you can close with anything once you get them low. Yeah, I'll just lean on Endurance here. Now, notably, Endurance is not castable under Blood Moon. Neither is Wrath of the Skies. So we're going to need to dodge Blood Moon. This hand seems like a trap. Let's mulligan this. This hand's fine. Again, it doesn't have a green source though. Or a white source. It's playing 4 color decks, not very fun. 5 color decks technically. Okay, so this does what we needed to do. I'm going to keep. I'm going to put back a Ponder, and I'm going to put back a Wasteland. And we're going to hope to Beanstalk into multiple Leyline bindings. I don't think that's a correct strategy. I'm gonna put back a Wasteland and a Leyline. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna look for a land here. Preferably a land, like a basic land would be good. Oh, that's good. I'll keep that. Because we're going to have Beanstalk online next turn. Man, this is such a hard matchup. Like look at the clock differential. I have to think so hard about everything because so many different lines they can take where you're just dead and it's like a surprise death. All right. That's a great start to the game. I will stop this. That is a must stop. I'll pitch Ponder. We're already under this thing. Okay, that's great. So next turn we can have Leyline up. It'll be a full cost Leyline. Actually, yeah, this is still full cost Leyline, so we can save this to get a different, like a basic. Well, we won't be able to get a basic if we're on the Blood Moon, but I can always like tap everything. And no, I can't actually. No, I can float all the mana. No, because when Blood Moon's out, I don't have it anymore. Yeah. So if they Blood Moon here, we're like really screwed. We're not completely screwed, but we'll have to wait until we have enough mana to Leyline bind with just 2 types. Actually, next turn we will be able to do that. So we'll got Lantern. It's definitely a reason not to invest too heavily in URO as a strategy. They may just leave it on the table. City of Traders. I mean, like there's definitely a temptation to just fire off the Wasteland on their Ancient Tomb this turn. There's the Blood Moon. So I believe we have 2 types. We have Mountain and Plains, and we can just do that and get rid of it. And I'll do that end step to shut off some of their mana. If they put a guy on the stack that's going to change the color, oh, it doesn't work. I don't want to get this Pyroblasted. Engineer is so brutal here. We don't have the mana. Well, okay. Hear me out. We hit this. I don't think they have a card in their deck that just deals with. So we might be able to force this is what I'm saying. If we draw a blue card. We didn't draw a blue card. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and exile this, but we're in danger. So we have our colors back. They have 3 mana now. They got the dragon engine. An endurance would be an insane rip here. Plow. We just plow this, but then they can bring... Oh, let's see. They don't have 2 red sources. Yeah, I think I just plow here. Play this out. Plow. And then I am going to waste one of these tombs. Okay, and then what we can do in step is we can go fetch the lounge. And because I'm not going to be able to interact meaningfully, I'm going to just wait until they're in step. Oh wait, if they cast a Blood Moon, I need to be able to fetch. I made that mistake in a previous game and it felt pretty bad. Got tons of mana. Okay, they're passing. Okay, that's great for us. Let's go get the lounge. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Even though I know that like it would be nice to get a island there. Just gonna ponder. Looking for Merc. They're pyroing that? Okay. I am unfazed, although I am also guard down here. Bolting us. That's fine. I'm always happy to see cards go to my face. They are just getting their hand low because they're going to bring back the dragon. But they're just like, I want to cast all my spells first. Okay, this goes and gets island. So now I'll pass and I can just force something they do. I think we just let that happen. I want to force like an impactful spell that they cast. Yeah. Welder, is that worth forcing? I mean, I think so. We're not going to be able to force them bringing this back. You can't force Unearth, I don't think. You can force Escape, but you can't force Unearth. Yeah, I'll just do this. Welder is pretty scary. We get a card. Malevolent Rumble is a heck of a card. Okay, and this comes back. That's fine. It has haste. Okay, so this is exiled. We take 4. We are low in life. We don't have any more tap lands. I'm just going to leave this uncracked. Let's find an URO. I didn't board those out, did I? There's the URO. Yeah, I'm going to take the URO. We will go get a... Man, I tapped wrong and now I have to get a... I can go and get a force here. Out 2, and we're just going to go green, blue, colorless, URO, gain some life. All right, we have 8 minutes to win 2 games. Drew a second URO, which we can go ahead and do now. What if they get their graveyard thing back? I'll feel pretty dumb. That's what will happen. So I think I'm just going to chill with my basics. Yeah, because I want to be able to escape URO, and I'm actually at the point where I can... Yeah, there's Welder again. Welder can get back Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, Brainstorm. I think we Brainstorm first. Okay, there's another URO, which is good. I don't really need it, though. I'm going to go ahead and do it like that. Now we're going to bring back URO. Green, green, blue, blue, URO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. We left a lot of sorceries and instants in there. It's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just ponder. They're going to spend like a turn cycle. Leyline Binding actually is fine. I'll do that. I'm just going to go ahead and immediately Leyline Bind this so they can't use it. We'll play our land. We'll pass. Can't have too much mana. Going to F6 through the turn. Fable. That's a good card for them to have. All right. Green, blue, green, blue. Let's try this again. URO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. URO's back. Oops, all UROs in my hand. No. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and rumble just in case I find like another ley line, which would be great, or a beanstalk. Let's take this land. Play it. I guess I can just go ahead and draw through this just to gain some life. And now I can URO. Again, I don't think I'm going to have time to win, sadly. I'll keep the one that's escaped. I'll play this out. I think we have all our land out of our deck. Yeah, we took the Savannah out, so we don't have any land left. Now we can start beating their face. Slow. They'll probably find a blast. Like, they can just play to the clock at this point because I'm so far behind. Like, they've used like 6 minutes, like 7 minutes maybe, and I've used like tons of time. There's the Cauldra. They can just start eating my stuff. They can actually put the counter on that and attack for 3. I'm going to just take it. I can undo that easily with URO, but they can start eating my UROs. They've eaten 1. Hydroblast. I'm just going to blast this now. I know that there are probably other things I could be spending it on. They're going to blast back. Untimely Malfunction. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, they're hitting that? What does that give them back? Color Welder? What happened? Oh, they changed it to that. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't actually work. Okay. I was freaking out. I'm going to just do blue, blue, green, green. Blue, green, blue, URO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. URO's back. We get a card. Okay, it's a Beanstalk. That's good. I have 23 cards in my deck. I'm going to go ahead and cast this. I'm just looking for a Murktide to close this game. Force of Will is not bad. Let's pass. We cannot tap out here. Or we can't F6. Just in case they have like, something crazy. If they're playing this, they could be playing that creature. Okay, they don't have good attacks. All right, again, they could just play to my clock. Let's go ahead and attack first. Then I can brainstorm afterward. I just want to maximize the number of cards I see. Okay, I'm not going to put a land in. Okay, we connect. We draw a bunch of cards. Okay, I am going to go ahead and plow this before they can use it. I mean, like, yeah, and I'll just let them attack me, and I'm just going to try to basically do as little as absolutely necessary. I don't think that my deck can win in 5 minutes. Even if I win this one, that's fine. Now everything has the Welder ability. Let's see if we can find some removal for this. Okay, we did. Okay, I'm gonna put this back. I'll put this back. Now I'm just going to go white, draw those 2 cards again because they're not bad cards. I'm gonna exile that token, and then that ability whiffs, and I can save the endurance for later to snuff their next play. They use their graveyard. 4 minutes and 33 seconds. We're not going to win. I'll just concede. I won't make you sit through me like frantically clicking on things trying to win. But I do want to win one game against them. Again, I hope you don't mind me going to time. Like it is embarrassing that it takes so long to play this deck, but like these decks are famously click intensive and slow. It's a good deck. It usually beats almost everything, but yeah. That is going to have haste, I believe. I'll just wait till they put the ability on the stack, and then I can endurance, cast, and I still have force up. Hit their graveyard. They can like Agatha's Soul Cauldron on it, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be hitting them for a ton next turn. They're not necessarily dead. If they tap the tomb, they're dead. Okay, they didn't bother using Agatha's Soul Cauldron. They could have. They're tapped out. Now they can do like weird things like, oh, let me go make a sandwich real quick. They're hellbent. Like there's nothing. They can't do anything, but they're just okay. Gonna have 6. Okay, that took a while. All right, I guess 3 minutes 50 seconds. What the hell? I'll try. So if we're trying to win quickly, Force Negation comes in, and we're just gonna go for a quick Merc kill. Yeah. So slower cards, Malevolent Rumble, slower. Leyline Binding, slower. Wrath of the Skies, slower. Let's think about these things. Wrath of the Skies is pretty good. I'm trying to think of any slow cards in this deck. I'm not going to take out Beanstalk. I think that'd be full. URO's pretty slow. We could take him out and just bring in Wrath. One thing is having extra land makes it a little easier to decide what we want to keep on the play. We're pretty much on team Quick Murktide, Turbo Murktide. Team Turbo Merc. Yeah, and this is not how you want to play the game, for sure. You don't want to be boarding in like a bunch of Force Negations. I'll keep this. I didn't even like really look at it. I'm like, okay, it has lands and spells. Okay. So let's just go ahead and play this and pass. And we can go get a Trop end step, and then we can Beanstalk. Okay. That's fine. I think I can go get a Savannah, and I can end step Plow that. Just get it out of the way so we don't die, because we are going to die with Urza Saga going off. Savannah, Plow. Nice thing that we have our colors here in case we need them. Okay, this is good. Green, white, beans. I'm not worried about them trying to go all the way with Urza Saga constructs. They have the Ancient Tomb. If they do damage to themselves, that actually helps if I have a big Merc later. 3 minutes on the clock. I'm playing against the clock. I'm not playing against them. If they win, it'll be because like I had to neglect basic hygiene and stuff to be able to win. Go like this. Bean 2. The Revenge. Wrath of the Skies. What a freaking draw. All right. Next turn we can Wrath away. Everything they hold dear. Doing damage to themselves. I can't F6 because I've got a Force. Love for boots. It's fine. Pedal. By all means. I will take 9. Land. Wrath. Okay, we'll use the energy. Everything's gone. All right, I've got Pyroblast up, and then I can end-step Brainstorm for an inefficient Brainstorm trying to find Merc. Then we have Force-protected Merc. This is a Blast. They're running lower on fuel on things they can do here, but we've got 90 seconds on the, or slightly more than 90 seconds. Okay, well, I'm going to blast that. I don't want to deal with this. Double Beanstalk trigger, another Beanstalk, land. Okay, it's fine. All right, so you can imagine like if we had like 5 minutes on the clock even, we'd be in exceptional condition here. I'm just going to play, tap my lands recklessly, looking for that Merc. I will surveil land here. That's fine. That's also fine. Step, I'm just going to undo. I'm going to go get the thing, the land that gives us all the colors. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Draw a bunch of cards. Can I find a Merc? It's another Leyline Binding. That's another shot at a Merc. Let's grab that. Just going to Leyline Bind here. We'll grab that Spirit Guide. Merc, please. Okay, another Hydroblast is not bad. Brainstorm. We're not finding the Merc. We did find a Fetch. I'm going to put these cards back. Play this out. I'm going to go ahead and fetch Surveil so I can F6. Well, I can't really F6 through my opponent's turn. Hedge Maze. Got a ton of land out. That can go in the graveyard. Feed the Merc. I feel like we can sufficiently defend a Merc if we find it. It's fine. Okay, and I'm just going to attempt a Plow here. Be mana efficient. pitch my own lands to force if they try to counter this. I should have forced that actually, just to see more cards. Murktide. Any order shuffle. Murktide, please. Okay. Please put something in play that I can counter. 53 seconds on the clock. Okay. Yeah. If we find the Merc, we can swing twice and we can win. Let's find it. Any order shuffle. Endurance is not fast enough. Blue. Blue. Can we get in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. Come on. Come on. All right. Don't have 6. Blue. Hydroblast. Counter target spell if it's red. Cast. Hydroblast. Undo. Blue. 19 seconds. Counter target spell if it's red. All right. And now I can't even... I just have to F6 through the turn. 9 seconds. F6 through the turn. 0 seconds. We lost. Yeah. We're like 1 second away, or maybe like 5 seconds away from winning. That's frustrating. So close. So close. Yeah. But like, I hope that shows that the deck can win quickly. I put the Mercs in here in case we have to step on the speed battle. So yeah, sorry, my excellent friends. As always, I apologize that I didn't win because I went to time. There were lots of decisions to be made, and I'm sure there was some decision where I wavered a little bit. But yeah, can't win them all. Let's go ahead and go to round. I mean, we're doing great. The deck feels great. It's just a lot of clicks. And I want to remind everybody, I've got like all the key bindings optimized. I'm playing as fast as you can, basically. Like the decision making, like the actual mechanical clicking and everything like that. There are like a few little optimizations I can make. Let's Genericana. Okay, they're probably on this Omnitel list that like everybody else is on because it's a really freaking strong deck. I think of the Stupors worth noting. Cunning Wish, Veil, 3 Manic Veil, 3 nasty things they can put in, and in the sideboard shared summons to go get them. Sublime Epiphany, awesome card if you have Infinity Mana. Into the Flood Maw, I can sign. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a pretty standard build. Okay, so I think we're geared up to beat this. We have Leyline Binding. This hand is fine. I'm going to keep this. They're not going to explode out of the gates. They're a slower deck. And they're not going to disrupt our mana, so we can surveil here. And then we'll try to go for like a turn 3 URO. We can actually fix our hand and put back some of the lands next turn. Ponder. I'm like still playing like super duper fast and trying to make decisions really fast. Like if you've ever gotten really close to time playing a control deck, it sticks with you. Like my heart rate's probably like 30 or 40% higher than normal. I could like hear my heart beating earlier when I was playing. Okay, so we're just going to get the hedge maze here. It doesn't give much information as to what we're playing. Is actually marks a blue card for force. I think this is better than nothing, and like this can help us end the game faster than arrow. Okay, we'll draw. I'm just going to pass, and I can brainstorm and shuffle and step. This keeps open emergency brainstorm. And then what we can do is this time I'm going to go get the other ETB tap land. Okay, they're fetching. What? White? Are they playing? They may not be playing the deck. They may be playing like what we're playing. But they have cast a lot of cantrips. So I imagine they're aggressively digging for something. Okay, they're playing this. That is okay. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and brainstorm now. All right, Beanstalk is great. We don't need a second URO, I don't think. I'll just put back one of the lands. This is actually fine for the purpose of URO. Yeah, and I have decided I am going to go shuffle here. So they could have the combo next turn with, okay, Xander's Lounge, with protection. And all we have to interact is Leyline Binding. If we URO. If we don't URO, or Beanstalk. If we Beanstalk. Beanstalk with Leyline is so good though because we could draw a force. I'm going to try it. I know that I'm taking a risk here. Okay, so we have Beanstalk to draw us into a potential force if they try to go off. And Leyline into Beanstalk is what I mean. Okay, that's great. That means they're probably not going to go. Memory's Journey to the Yard. They are going to go. Blue-white. And so I could rip a force here. I think this is worth doing. I can hit their Shuko. I get a draw trigger. Okay, Wasteland. Yeah, Wasteland's still not bad. We can take them off white. All right, and they do get that. So if we URO, we can get double land into play, and we can waste them, and we can have... yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and URO. Green, blue, colorless. URO. This advances our game plan, draws us a card, gets our waste out. Go ahead and hit this. Then I think we just pass. No more ETB tapped lands to bring into play here. If they find Teferi, that's a pretty big beating because they can bounce this to hand. That's fine. That gets them a second one, but they still don't have white mana. They can't really do the most scary things without white mana. Okay. Options. 1. We brainstorm. Then we can shuffle away excess stuff. Option 2, we bring back URO. That lets us deploy a land. Yeah, I kind of like brainstorming here because if we can start hitting their lands, they're gonna struggle to use the Urza Saga. So let's see if we can find another Wasteland or a Life from the Loam. Malevolent Rumble could put a Life from the Loam in the yard. I don't like how little removal and interaction our hand has. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put those lands back. Now I'm going to go fetch, and I'm going to Malevolent Rumble, and I'm going to hope to hit a Loam off of that. Let's grab another Trop here, and then we're going to go. Feel like, I mean, we could have hit a white source. We can just get a Tundra if we don't find anything. If we find any land, we can go up the Beanstalk. No, we can go up the Beanstalk with the actual thing from the Rumble. Yeah, I'm going to up the Beanstalk. Yeah, I think I want the land. Gosh, it's hard. I think I want the land, and then I just want to go with the Beanstalk. We could do a second Beanstalk and just get really big. Yeah, I guess I'm greedy. This may be like, this greedy play may be our undoing. But if we find a force, it's really good. If we find Leyline Binding, this is green mana. What are they doing? They're going to Veil, and then they're going to draw. Memory Journey to put a bunch of stuff back in our deck. That's fine. I don't care in the slightest about that stuff. I'm just looking to, yeah, there we go. Now, I'm kind of tempted to go ahead and Ponder, because if we find a force, it's really good. And Wasteland is good for next turn. Force. This is not the right force. I think I'm going to shuffle this and try to hit the right force. We didn't get it. All right. We could die here. Like that's kind of like okay, how much do you sit still? Maybe I'm misplaying. Maybe I'm being too aggressive about building up our engine. And maybe I'm about to get run over. But it looks like our opponent's just passing, which is great. We got 6 cards in hand. I can't imagine. Oh, Leyline Binding's great. I mean, yeah, I think we start with going up the Beanstalk. Maximize looks at a Wasteland. There's another URO. I think we just mark, draw 2 cards. Blue, blue, mark. 1, I'm going to make him giant. 2, 3, 4, 5, full size mark. Blue, blue. This will end the game in like 3 swings, and it also invalidates our opponent's tokens. Force. All right, that's what we wanted to see. I don't want to tap out. I'm going to just pass with this dominating board presence. And we have Brainstorm if we need it. We have Leyline Binding. Their Urza Saga is going to go off. They create the construct. That's fine. Again, constructs, not that scary out of that deck. Like, constructs are not designed to beat decks like this. They're designed to beat like combo decks and stuff like that, that like after the game has kind of fallen apart, they still have these constructs. They're not designed to beat decks that get as many lands and as many cards in their hand as us. If they needle our Strand, I'm not even going to worry about it. I don't think they have Strand main, needle main. Okay. That is very interesting to me that they chose not to get a Shuko, which tells me they probably have Nomads. But they played Windswept Heath and not Caverns, which is what I was really worried about. Now they have access to white again. They could just plow this. And if they plow it, guess what? It happens. I'm not going to sweat it. I'll take my life and my insulation from like basically ever losing the combat. As tempting as it is to force, I don't think we force. Because we can just mark again. That's fine. Okay, and that is not fine. Let's stop that. I will pitch URO here. I think I pitch URO because Mark draws a lot of cards. Okay. They have forced back. Okay, so options. One, we go ahead and brainstorm. If we brainstorm, then suddenly our leyline binding is vulnerable. I think I'm going to leyline bind. Yeah, I'll leyline bind now. And that way we can get their nomad out of play. And we get 2 more draw triggers. Potentially find a force negation or a force of will. Find a Murktide. Okay, so let's let this resolve, I guess. And we'll get the nomad here. Okay, and again, if they find a Teferi, this is all for naught. I think it is worth, like, at this point, we have nothing to lose. If they daze our force, it's okay. I will grab another trop. I will just brainstorm, trying desperately to find another force. Force negation. It's pretty freaking sweet. And we got a leyline for next turn. All right, how many forces do you have? All right, draw. Yeah, oh, it felt good. This is the second time in the league that we fought like the old school. Oh, no, this is breakfast. This is breakfast. Okay, we fought the Bant Nadu that was in vogue for a while. Then there was like Zenith Nadu. And now I do think the best 2 Nadu decks are the Beach Nadu that I like to play. I'm somewhat biased in that matter. And, of course, straight Cephalid Breakfast, which is what our opponent's playing. So Lavinia does stop that combo. Ground Seal is not terrible against this. Wrath of the Skies seems pretty damn good against an Urza Saga deck. I think I like that. Yeah, and we can get rid of the Shuko as well. Get rid of the Nomads. Like, if they ever kind of have to play the combo, I think we take out the Force Negation here because they're a creature combo deck. I don't think they're going to come after our basics, so I'll cut these. And then Loam locking them is an actual viable strategy here. They only have 2 basics. So I don't think we take out the Loam. I sometimes take a Murktide out, but like I think in the previous video I went to time against them. Again, going to time is like a pastime when you're playing URO. And one of the issues was like I struggled to find my Murktides in time, so I don't want to take out Murk. I think I could take out this because they have Memory's Journey and stuff. It's not that important. Yeah, I think we run it like this. And Endurance could certainly come in. I mean, it is a powerful card. I just don't think it's powerful enough. Like, it's not on the same power level as Leyline. It's stuff that triggers Beanstalk. Rumble to help us find Beanstalk. Rumble's been so good. I love this deck. I love casting Rumble. It feels great. All right. And speaking of Rumble, we got a Rumble hand. We got a Plow. Plow to insulate us. Rumble once we stabilize. Is this good enough? Yeah, I'm going to keep this. And we'll just hope they have a slow deployment. Like sometimes you lose game 2 because they can turn to you, technically. They can just go, Shuko into Cephalid Illusionist. That's great because that fixes our hand. So we'll start with this. And then we have Plow up and then we can brainstorm, shuffle next turn. Not really sure what we put away though. Like everything in our hand's pretty good. Uro's a little slow. Brainstorm. Got to respect the perfect brainstorm. And I do think it's better to have perfect brainstorm possibility than to surveil. Like every shuffle is a treasure. Don't be, oh, interesting. They may not have access to green or they may have a redundant one. All right. So options. One, we could just hedge maze here. That does take us off. Yeah, I don't think that's correct. I'm going to put the hedge maze away when I brainstorm here. If they don't make me Plow. Saga. So now they have a pretty solid path to doing shenanigans, doing crime. All right, let's brainstorm. All right, I don't think we've got entirely too much land here. I mean, the second Rumble, I don't know. I don't feel like Tamiyo is where we want to be. I mean, I could see with like the Rumble and everything. Like, I'm gonna go get the Surveil land. I mean, I'm tempted to just deploy the URO, which gives us another land. Oh, that's a land we kind of need. Yeah, I'd feel pretty dumb if I put that in the graveyard, but we might want to slurp it back up. Justify drawing that right now. It doesn't support any of the things going on in our hand. We're looking for force. We're looking for more plows and interaction. Ground Seal is a freaking bomb. Let's Ground Seal. It's in the yes way. All right. And if they think they're going to be able to beat us down with constructs, they're sorely mistaken. Beanstalk. I think this is a Beanstalk turn. One option we have is to just go ahead and Rumble first. See if we can find, what would we find? Leyline Binding would be good. We don't actually have the Lounge We could put a Loam in the yard. That'd be good. We could put a URO that we can later return. The thing about playing the Beanstalk is we don't have an immediate use for it. I think I'm just going to go like this and rumble. Oh, I was supposed to take Loam out when I put Ground Seal in. That was dumb. Yeah, because Ground Seal stops Loam from working. We could just double Beanstalk. I don't think Lavinia is necessary if Ground Seal sticks. It could very well just have a Plow anyway. I think Beanstalk is where it's at. Yeah, we'll plan to do that in a few turn cycles. We could technically Beanstalk now, and then we have no. I'm actually. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna do this because this just fills up our yard. They might be able to go get like some sort of like. We can't use that immediately, but we can use that later. We're gonna pass. We have Plow, and we can crack that. We're probably still dead if they try to combo. If they try to Nadu, we're probably dead. If they can't do graveyard shenanigans, if they have like a Teferi, that's totally broken and we're totally screwed. So here comes construct number 1. Construct number 2. No construct. Okay. So I'm guessing they're going to like try to do something with Nadu here. Chant is pretty rough. Okay, so hear me out. I think we Plow this because it reduces the number of cards they have on the table to interact with Nadu. Okay, and now they can Nadu twice. They can't Nadu into a kill. They have to win through value while Ground Seal's on the table. Or they have to draw like literally their entire deck. Do they have the Nomad? They have the Nomad. Okay, we can't do anything about this. The game is not necessarily over, but it's probably over. They have 4 Plows in their deck. We can deploy several Murktides back to back. They can just draw until they naturally get the thing out. Oh, nice. There's no point in letting them click through that. Okay. So cards revealed. Their hand is Force, Ponder, Shuko, Hedge Maze. Okay. So we drew our own Force. They will eventually draw to a Teferi and be able to remove this and win. Or they'll just draw their entire deck. I'm not sure that wasting them accomplishes anything. I think we could probably use that mana ourselves. I'm going to try this. They're probably going to force it. What? Such confidence. Leyline Binding. So we Leyline Bind this. Then we just force the subsequent ones. We don't have the mana to Leyline Blind, unfortunately. It would cost all our mana. Maybe they don't have a second force. Draw trigger. They're crazy that they're letting this stuff resolve. I guess they could just start doing their Nadu thing. There's the first trigger. Do they just have another one in hand? That's such extreme confidence. Okay, there's a Saga. I mean, if we just find the freaking Wrath of the Skies and we have enough forces, yeah, that's fine. They're valuing us. There's the Thassa's Oracle. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they get the value, but now we have the Nadu. This doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm not sure why they're playing the way they are. It's weird. So now they definitely need another Nadu, and they haven't revealed one yet. They could have another one in hand, but they force back, but I do get a Beanstalk trigger, and maybe I find an answer. They're not going to be able to aggro us. That would be, extremely unlikely they'd be able to do that. I guess they can technically win with Thassa's Oracle from hand if they just use the thing to dump their library. So we force this Nadu, and then Teferi the Time Raveler has to be forced, unfortunately. It's just we can't win under it, and they can get their Nadu back. Okay, so if we draw a force here, we're still in the game. We did. Wow, big freaking draw. All right, I'm going to pitch URO here because Murktide Regent's going to cantrip me next turn. Now they can play another Nadu, but they tapped wrong and they don't have green mana. Oh, they do have green mana. Okay, so they're just going to play another Nadu? Is that what's going on? They can Prismatic End our Ground Seal and go off. I don't have white for Leyline Binding, and even if I did, I don't have enough mana because I dumped the Lounge Serenity. That gives them their Nadu back. I think we can concede to that. Oh wait, it doesn't happen until next turn, so I can just bind it. Wow, I think my opponent really screwed up. Like I can't believe we're still alive. Okay, so options. 1, we could definitely just waste that Urza Saga. It's going to get blown up by a Serenity. I'm going to be so bold as to assume that we can remove that. They've got 4 cards in hand. They've burned through a lot of this stuff. Maybe we can figure out what they have in hand. They've cast one of their Ponders. Did they cast the Shuko they had in hand? Let's see. It would be dumb to cast a Shuko. I think it was already out. If they're planning to blow everything up, they want to keep it. Okay. So here's what I think we do. We can waste if we can't remove that, but I'm going to hope that we can remove it. So I'm going to go green, blue, Beanstalk. This will help us max our draws. Okay, draw. It's a land. Now I'm going to go Tundra, white, blue. Gosh, this really sucks. We're tapping out of interaction again. No, wait. Is it 3 mana? Yeah, it's 3 mana because we lack 2 types. Double draw trigger. They don't have the force. We hit their Serenity, and now we just have to dodge them drawing a Nadu or another Teferi for a turn cycle. Do we want to stop them from getting another construct? Yeah, and that also stops them from getting... I think that is both of their Shukos. They might have some sort of card that is good. Yeah, I mean, like, we've had to use the whole proverbial whale to survive here, but we are still alive. Now they can just win with the Wizard. They can mill their deck, Thassa's Oracle, and then they can just do it with the trigger on the stack. Yeah, we did our best. I mean, we saw that. I guess I kind of knew, like, I could have figured that earlier that was what they were going to do, but I did need to get rid of that card because they would have gotten all their stuff back. Okay, so yeah, and Endurance wouldn't have done anything there because they could have just kept going. So they're playing Orm's Chant, which is not tech that I generally see in these decks these days. I don't think that changes anything, though. I think our sideboard plan is fine. I mean, you saw just how cramped we were on mana. I don't know that bringing in Carpet is good, though. Loam can come out for sure. Loam doesn't do anything. Then we can bring in a Carpet. Endurance does do stuff if they are going off Shuko. I just don't think it's good enough. Like, all these other cards are so much better. Well, you know, like Tamiyo is pretty bad, actually. Like, the entire time I was just like, oh, Tamiyo, like, when are we going to have time to pay mana to crack these clues? And it could be that, you know, maybe the deck doesn't even need Tamiyo because, you know, it's so mana hungry already. Let's say we did do this to just have more mana and we brought back in URO because URO is pretty awesome in terms of drawing cards. Maybe we just keep one Tamiyo. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, and it's going to take me a while to adjust to this deck. It's a completely different style from what I've been playing because it's like a true control deck. You're really trying to lock down the entire game, every aspect of the game. This is... I mean, we're on the play, so we can play out Xander's Lounge. And then we could Rumble. I don't hate it. I think this is fine. Lavinia stops them from doing the Dread Return route. Misty, Crack, Tundra, Shuko. Okay, this could be the turn 2. We're not set up to be able to beat the turn 2. We need a white source. Okay, so I think what we do is Ponder for a force is my instinct. I don't think we can afford a Malevolent Rumble because if they have the card, we're just dead. Actually, Brainstorming is probably better because we may need multiple cards to survive. Plow and white mana is, yeah, I mean, that might work. They don't have days or force. A lot of ways we can die here. I do want a third land, assuming the game goes on. I don't think Tamiyo, again, like I'm still not sure about Tamiyo's role in the deck. She just doesn't feel good. Like I never want to play her out. So it feels like I'm always on my back foot just trying to deploy these cards. We're going to shuffle. So I do like Rumble. It's certainly possible that Lavinia is too slow here. Beanstalk and Rumble seem pretty instrumental. This does just get plowed and then they move on. And they can wait and plow or Teferi when they go off. I think Rumble's the card we put back. All right, and we'll see. Maybe we don't have to shuffle that away, but like when somebody turn 1 Shukos, you can usually be pretty confident they've got the turn 2 win. And sometimes they have the turn 2 win with protection. Okay? That comes in. All right, if they have days or force blue card, we are dead. I'll go ahead and grab Savannah so I have domain. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's probably not going to matter because we're probably dead, but let's try. Oh, wow. Whoa, we're still alive. That's pretty freaking rad. They're playing Brazen Bar. Cavernous Souls is in the yard. I'm happy to see that. Okay. So now let's talk about the rest of our lives. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, right? That's what they always say. So next turn could be a Nadu victory. It's not like we're out of the woods. Lavinia doesn't do anything to address that. Beanstalk doesn't actually do anything right now. I want to find a wasteland for this. Actually, for this. See if we can find a wasteland. It's the freaking nuts. We can take the force now. I think we just waste the tundra. And then, like, they're going to have another wizard and a land. All right. Game on. And they already have a Shuko, so yeah, like, they need to find mana. They have blue, so they can still win. They just had it. Raging. Yeah, I mean, we could have put the force in our hand instead of wasting, but then, like, I feel like, yeah, if we put the force in our hand, we did have plenty of blue cards to pitch. It just felt like that was the out. No, it was like I definitely punted. I'm not going to excuse my play here. The correct play was to put the force in the hand and to let them have another turn with the Urza Saga. And yeah, that feels bad. Okay, well, I diagnosed the flaw. Lose the game, but don't lose the lesson. See you in the final round. All right, a quick note. I also should have made them play it out because there is a small chance that they had one of the cards in their hand. So we're up in the final round against T-Buns. Good luck, T-Buns. We've got a cracked hand. Unknown opponent. I love to keep force against an unknown opponent, especially with a Beanstalk. I think we surveil. I mean, this is what the deck is all about right here. Being able to do an early rumble. Rumble in the jungle. Rumble in the Bronx. Rumble. I need to look up a list of like famous movies that have the word rumble in it. It feels like a lot of boxing movies and fighting movies would have that. I mean, we might need to fetch a basic. Yeah, let's just chill with this. I want to fetch a island and plains. Those are my two highest priority ones. Even though we do have a lot of green cards. Okay. Don't make me force before I have my Beanstalk up. Tamiyo, that's fine. I think we Malevolent Rumble first because I don't care if that gets dazed, but I do care if Beanstalk gets dazed. Like, given the choice, I would definitely just have my Malevolent Beanstalks be my Malevolent Beanstalks. My Malevolent Rumbles, like, I would definitely not play Malevolent Rumble if they had like a functionally similar Beanstalk that you could play. I don't think we need this land. Now that we have two Beanstalks, I do think I'm going to just jam because it's so good if it resolves. And I think they're almost certainly going to daze or force this. And I'm going to let them, and then I think I let them. Yeah, my instinct was to rumble. They probably would have countered that too. Maybe not. I mean, daze is not free. They have set themselves back. If they waste here, that's great for us because that keeps them further from cracking the clues off Tamiyo. I was called her Tamiyo. Okay. Alan's back. All right. I'd like to be able to surveil. Or not surveil, but get the other, like, the lounge out of the deck. Brainstorm, that's fine. That flips Tamiyo at an inopportune moment. They're really trying to stop this Beanstalk. I am going to force to protect it. There's a high likelihood that they're on blue-black, which we don't know for sure that they're on blue-black, but if they are, there's a high likelihood that they don't have a way to remove the Beanstalk, and they're just going to have to live with it. Okay, she flips. We're in. Right. Excellent. So the question is, do we want to deploy our Tamiyo? I don't think so. I want to just have force-protected days. And now the next big play, we can do that. We'll definitely be able to find a ley line before she goes off. Definitely maybe. Possibly maybe. I think it's the song by Bjork. Okay. This is where the swamp comes out. Thoughtseize. I mean, if I force, I go up a card. I don't really care what they take here. I think I'm just going to hold my force, let them take some damage. They may choose Malevolent Rumble just because it's a unique card, but I think they're going to take one of my forces. They could also take Tamiyo. But if I cared about Tamiyo, I would have Man, maybe I'm just neglecting Tamiyo, dear Tamiyo, but like I didn't want to play her into force and I didn't want to be vulnerable to daze or play her into daze and be vulnerable to daze on my own defensive spell. Okay, yeah, they did take it. So the dream is to just find a bunch of blue cards and make both of these forces work. Let's go get our... This is definitely going to give away our color combinations. Okay, well, we don't want to draw that. All right. So they could have Spell Pierce, and that's reason enough to go ahead and play out this strand. I'll play out the plan since I've seen it. Green, white, rumble. I could go for Murk here if I find it. URO can go in the yard. I think it's fine to put URO in the yard so we can just bring him back immediately. And I can just take Savannah. That's like a pain-free land that we can play out next turn. URO is very hard for black decks to beat. Like they can keep killing him, but it's not gonna do enough. Their plan is probably to try to ride the Tamiyo ultimate train. I don't know why my Beanstalk has just got all blacked out. It's weird. They're regrowing the Thoughtseize. That's fine. I think I actually will force here. No. I think I'm just going to let it happen. Because these forces are good later. They take 2 damage. Their Tamiyo is no longer a threat to us. They take us off force, but we're going to be bringing back URO next turn. It's possible they're going to... Oh, that explains a lot. Okay. Well, maybe we won't do anything then. That's a good card. I've been telling everybody this is a great card, and now we're seeing it's a great card. All right. So we do have a hard cast force next turn. It's not like terrible. But yeah, we did lose our a lot of the work we've been doing toward getting URO out. Definitely makes me think that I should have kept URO instead of this Savannah. Who cares that we have a Savannah, right? Like, if we had URO, we could have, timed it. At least gotten an extra card from it. Wasteland, I don't think is particularly good here. I think I could cut them off a Merc, which would be annoying if they had Merc, but yeah, I think I'm just going to play this out. So I want to play this out. I'll play this out so I don't have to use my spawn. Spawn might come up later. They're plussing. I think Strix is just a hard cast force. I want to draw a card here, and I don't want them drawing a card. Brainstorm's a great rip. Assuming they don't have Bowmaster, which they don't have Bowmaster mana. So this is actually a great situation for us. Okay, and we drew another brick. Let's go ahead and do this. They might actually force this because they know we have bricks. Okay, so freaking insane. Okay, so we'll just put these back. We don't need these. I'm going to go green, blue, Beanstalk. Oh, I was supposed to fetch first. Now I'm going to draw a land that I didn't want. I'm sorry, my excellent friends. That was a misplay. They're forcing that. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to play this out. I'm going to fetch, and I'm just going to brainstorm just to get brainstorm out of my hand before Bowmasters can wreck my life. Let's get a trop here. We've got plenty of white sources. Let's go ahead and go blue here. Brainstorm. Ponder's fine. I'm going to just go ahead and ponder too. Just fill up my yard. Again, just playing around Bowmasters. This is Leyline Binding. Yeah, Leyline Binding is pretty good. I think we take the Leyline Binding. And we can just cast it immediately on Tamiyo. Draw a card. Not have to worry about Bowmasters. Draw trigger. This Beanstalk has been pulling some serious weight. I think we've already drawn like 2 or 3 cards off it. So they do have Brazen Borrower in their deck. And that is a very borrowable thing. Borrowable? Yeah. Another Strix is fine. As long as it's not a Bowmaster. Don't have a land for Bowmaster, please. Tamiyo, number 2. It's fine. We're just going to go to Value Town here. So we do have the mana to play URO and bring him back. Green, blue, URO. Draw. Not going to put a land into play. Okay, he dies. Now we'll bring him back. Green, green, blue, blue. I know he's just going to get smashed into that card over there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything but the force. Tamiyo might regrow a force later. Okay, we draw. Now we just need like a plow to get the Strix out of the way, and we'll be pretty good. We can start attacking. I mean, I can technically just attack into the Strix, but it's not desirable. If they have Bowmaster, that's like the most powerful thing they could do here. Kaito would be a pain. Kaito could lock down. I think it's a high likelihood that there's a Kaito in our future. If they attack with the Strix, Kaito's coming. Whoa, no Kaito. Okay. Wow. Okay. I would not have attacked with that Strix. They're not racing us. They're not fooling anybody. Okay, they kept. They could fatal push this. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just rebuild. Okay, so I'll just start spinning my wheels a little bit here. Plow is pretty good. Let's start by pondering. And what am I looking for? Merc. Merc would be great. Another Plow. Our own Tamiyo is not bad. Yeah, I don't really want this Misty, but I'll take everything else. I think I just go ahead and Beanstalk here, and then I can Tamiyo, and then I can just flip Tamiyo. I don't think that's bad. They won't have a good way to deal with it. We're just overwhelming them with like value. I've been on the other side of this so much, so many times. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and Plow her now. I'll feel pretty dumb. No, I'm gonna brainstorm here. Wait, pretty close to bringing it back, but yeah, we don't have enough mana. I'm gonna brainstorm now. This is a window to brainstorm out from under Bowmasters. Okay, Rumble's great. I will keep. Yeah, I'll just. Oh, I don't have a green source. I guess I just wait, and I'll draw Rumble, and then I'm gonna Tamiyo. Giant turns. That's how we do it. There is kind of like a risk of them drawing Kaito. I'm going to accept that risk. I don't want to be under Bowmaster's Clue Crack. Now we don't have to worry about Kaito. If they play a land before attack, then I would go ahead and get rid of it, but I'm not going to get rid of it. There's no point in attacking. Okay. All right. They didn't have the Now spell, and that's nice. Okay. So I think we just Rumble here first. This fills up our yard. If I can find a Merc, that's pretty good. If I can find another... a Leyline Binding is not bad. I'll take that. We dodged the other card. So we did not draw yet. So Tamiyo can't really attack until we clear this. I'll just clear it. And then I will attack. I guess I didn't need to do that. I could have brought back URO. And then attacked. That was a misplay. I will bring back URO. Doing so does take me off Leyline Binding, but I feel like zero danger. Like the danger I'm feeling is that the clock is ticking. Green, blue, blue, green. URO. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think all our Plows are in our yard now. Yeah, that's kind of scary. So we can't deal with instant speed. Bowmasters. That is okay. Okay, trigger. If we draw a... Oh yeah, we're going to draw that Rumble. No. Actually, I didn't know that we were going to draw the Rumble. It's targeting me. That's fine. I've got tons of life. Tamiyo flips. I thought she would flip. Huh. Oh, I brainstormed earlier in the turn. That's why. Yeah, I got confused. I apologize, my excellent friends. Thoughtseize is fine. They're going to take our Leyline Binding, I presume. They don't have good attacks. I mean, if they attack, I will chump just to prevent... yeah. So we could just clear this. I think it makes sense to attack first. There's a Brazen Borrower. Oh, another Bowmasters. Let's see. Let's think about this. So if we just bind one of the Bowmasters, they only get one trigger. Yeah, I think it's worth just going ahead and binding one. Because I don't want to deal with like two of them. They are going to get an extra trigger. I can see where they point the trigger and I can potentially just flip Tamiyo. There's nothing to be thought about here. I don't think they have 0 cards in hand. Oh, they're just figuring out what they want to point at. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and when this resolves and then it's out of the way, then I can go ahead and crack the clue. And this will flip Tamiyo. Okay, she's flipped. Now we're in. Bowmaster comes down. Bowmaster buffs the Orc Army. Then they could block everything. Like double block and kill URO. But that doesn't really mean anything because I can just bring him back like immediately. Okay. They chose to ping. Oh, wait. Huh. I didn't think about that, but they are going to get another ping on Tamiyo here, sadly. Yeah, so they get to kill Tamiyo. Yeah, so I misplayed. For some reason I thought like it was okay to save her that way. If I had done it the other way around, she wouldn't have died because she would have flipped after combat, so I screwed that up pretty badly. And now they can trade. That's fine. I'm just going to bring him right back. Actually, I'm going to play a most likely lethal Murktide here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big Murktide. Blue. You can ping if you want. I'll draw. They are poking. What are they poking? Oh, that's poking me. That's fine. Again, I'm just worried about my clock. Okay, giant Murktide's in. I think we rumble here and we just try to find another leyline binding to get rid of this. The Murktide's fine. Yeah, Murktide's fine. This way they have to get rid of 2 of them in a row. And the second one will be smaller, but and then I guess we can play out this Tamiyo here. It doesn't cost us anything to do so. Now we have an extra blocker. And they can bounce this out of play and get a little bit of extra time, but like we're so high in life, I can't imagine them figuring out a way to kill us. It's just a matter of killing them efficiently, clockwise. They drew a land for turn. They don't have good attacks. Okay, and by playing out that land, they show me that like they're basically dead. So, yeah, I can make this lethal. Blue, exactly lethal. 1, 5. It's deterministic from here. Blue. This buffs our Merc, but not before clicking like 20 times. Okay. Clicking very carefully so I don't click through my combat. I have to spend another few seconds doing this. All right, good game. Okay, so yeah, they're just fetching to buy time, but it doesn't matter. I don't think there's like some graveyard card that does anything to save them. They don't have what's it called, clicking the dust or anything. They're just using up their own clock. But it is clear, like the way they fetch and everything, that they are hoping to time me out, and that's their win con. So we need to play fast. All right, endurance is great here. Carpet is most definitely coming in. I feel like Wrath could come in. I imagine they are on the Murktide plan. Force Negation comes out. Wasting them is pretty fruitless. I think I want to take my Wastelands out. They seem to be on like blue-black tempo, just straight up. So if we're taking out Waste, I think we take out Loam. I think Terminus is better than Wrath of the Skies, because Wrath of the Skies, gets rid of my carpets and stuff. Terminus just gets rid of the creatures, which are it's almost always fine for me. I am seriously considering just going down on Tamiyo's. Like, she's felt like very meh this entire league. And I hate to say that, but like when you're already drawing so many cards and getting so much card advantage, the last thing you need is like card advantage that you have to pay 2 mana for. Yeah. I feel like I'm turning my back on my Bay. But trust me, she's still good in like all the other archetypes I play, just not necessarily in this one. I mean, really what we're playing is like pre-Modern Horizons 3, except for Malevolent Rumble and Tamiyo. So if we pull Tamiyo out, like we're only playing 1 Modern Horizons 3 card, which is crazy and probably not correct. All right. This hand is a keep. So they're trying to time me out. I could go for the quick Murktide. There's Tamiyo. I mean, I could just Plow her. There, what was that? That was nothing. Don't pay any attention to that. So we do have Brainstorm, Ponder. Yeah, I'll see what they do here. I have Force Protected Terminus, so I could Brainstorm Instep, and then they put their Bowmaster in. They're like, oh, I got your Bowmaster. And then we have Force Protected Terminus. I'd like to wait a turn, though. And the reason I'd like to wait is just because Daze is pretty good. I think I'll let them do this. Yeah, I think we just have to let them do it now. The jig is up. They'll probably take Terminus. They may be worried that we can get Terminus back. I don't know what I would take. I'd probably take Malevolent Rumble, just because it's the immediate thing we can do. I could have brainstormed there to put Terminus like 2 cards down. Maybe that was correct, but it'd be embarrassing if I redrew it and like they had already flipped their Tamiyo and they didn't have anything in play. They're only playing like 10 creatures, I bet. Take my Force. Okay. Well, I am gonna chill. Yeah, I'll just chill. Drew another force. That's not bad. Play this. Do we want to let them have another clue? I think there's a decent chance that we just brainstorm and or that we plow and they just have brainstorm. I want them to tap out for something here. It is very awkward for them to try to bowmaster our brainstorm. This doesn't really affect us that much. Okay. I think I am going to brainstorm here because I've got a clean window where I'm not going to get bowmastered. And I don't really need this Terminus that badly. I'm not sure that it's good at all from this position. Beanstalk, however, is quite a good card. Let's put back Terminus here. Leyline Binding triggers Beanstalk, which I'm going to cast next turn. No, I can't cast it without worrying about days. I feel like we do need to fetch a Savannah here or something like that. Tundra. I don't want to put this land back just in case. And, well, yeah, if they daze my Rumble, that'll be pretty embarrassing, and I won't have a land. I think I'm going to put back this Leyline Binding for now, and we'll draw it later. I'm going to go ahead and go off white and just get this bad card out of my deck. Stifle, Brainstorm. Okay. They're going to flip her in the end step. I think that's not that great. That's fine. They may be doing this now because they don't want me to like draw a force and they're afraid I'm going to Terminus. But I just shuffled away Terminus. So I don't know why they're doing it when they're doing it. Okay. Just going to get the bad land. Okay. We drew a land. That's actually pretty good because we can go with the Beanstalk now. And we can fetch and get a white source if we need to. We're in. Tamiyo is a perfect thing to pitch to force. And then we can just Murktide. I could Rumble first if I want to, but like, might be right to just go ahead and Murktide and start applying pressure since they have Tamiyo out. Yeah, my hope is that I can force something and then I can fetch and then I can just Murktide and draw a card. Actually, yeah, Hedge Maze is in my hand, so I can't fetch it, which is a bummer. I could do this. Bin a card. I'm not going to bin that. I think that'd be crazy. I could go ahead and Brainstorm here. I could Tamiyo and then Brainstorm. And then force, but then if they force back, it's really bad for me. I'm just going to Brainstorm here. Okay, they're going to go for the Bowmaster, and I'm going to attempt to force it, and then I will plow it if it resolves. Because I do not want to deal with this card. Okay, we got another force. Okay, Brainstorm resolves. Let's see if we find another blue card. We do. I'm going to put back the Plains, and I'm going to put back Rumble. And I think I just go for the Murktide because the value is so high. No, I'll be patient. I'm going to put this back. No, I'll put this back for now. Now I'm going to fetch, and I'm just going to Rumble. Let's grab this Tundra here. Green, blue, Rumble. 8 minutes to win another game. I think we take the land here, leave the URO in the yard. And now we have to force. Oh, yeah, we have Daze Protected Force now. And then next turn we Merc and we force to protect, and I think we can win. We'll spend a turn killing Tamiyo, then we'll kill them. This is a force. Don't make me force back, please. We draw. Leyline Binding. All right, not a bad card. We can just bind this. We can do that for one mana, and then we can Merc. They're regrowing Thoughtseize. That's annoying. I think we force pitching Murktide. Okay. And we don't need to worry about that Tamiyo anymore. Now we can just bring back URO. Oh, we can't bring back URO. Never mind. I think I'm just going to go ahead and leyline. Oh, I just leyline this, and then I can bring back URO. Carpet. Pretty freaking cracked. Let's go ahead and play this out. I mean, we're really far ahead. Go to combat. Post-combat, I'll add a bunch of green. All right, we got green. URO's coming back. Blue. Blue. We'll exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. URO's back. We draw. Play a land that can be used to Leyline Bind something. I'll just chill on the Leyline Binding. I've got plenty of mana up. I guess I could have played a... Is this a Bowmaster? It's fine. Tamiyo can plus, but it doesn't matter. I can just bind her next turn. Okay, they're passing. My kids are home from school. If you hear like a bunch of screaming, they're just being kids. Yeah, I'll just add a bunch of green here. Let's go ahead and just endurance. All right, we're going to endurance them. This takes them off Merc. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and fetch just to get lands out of my deck. I guess they could, maybe it was a mistake to tap the way I did because they could potentially have the thing. URO comes back. And by the thing, I mean the Harbinger. Because I have 0 basics in play. And it's totally like I had the option of getting basics. It's an unforced error. So this will help me anyway, but they don't have anything to return with Tamiyo, so maybe I just hold the ley line. Yeah, and then next turn they're going to start dying. We're really far ahead. We have another URO that we can use. Here's a Clue Crack. So you got another Fatal Push. It's fine. Now they can minus to just get that and kill the endurance as well. If they think that's worth it. I should have done something about that, by the way. That's fine. Brainstorm is fine. Yeah, like I do think that if I just remove Tamiyo, that probably would be a lot cleaner. They do have a lot of cards in hand, though. So at this point, we don't have time to win a game 3, so we need to just dial in and focus and win this game, which I don't think will be a problem, but we'll see what happens. Thoughtseize. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. They do not have the mana to Bowmaster me in response. I'll just take their Tamiyo. Okay, I'll just brainstorm here. See if I can, avoid giving them anything here. I just put a land in my hand and they take 2. Yeah, this is fine. Boom. We'll draw the Beanstalk. You can pay 2 life, look at my hand. Nethergoyf. That's fine. Nethergoyf does survive, technically. Because endurance is going to get debuffed. Okay, let's add some green. Go with the Beanstalk. Now we'll URO. Let's just bring URO. I can crack and I can go start getting my basics. Just in case they draw the card. I'll grab a island here. Oh, actually, island's not the one. I was supposed to grab the white source. My bad. Just do that. Draw a trigger. Gain some life. We'll put this Crocus in. I'll just bounce this back to hand. Okay. Now I can escape. I could go up the Beanstalk first. I have enough green. Just Plow. I'm just going to get my URO. Oh, wait. I can't technically get him out yet. I'll just Plow here and I'll attack. So they could now Spellbomb me, which would slow things down quite a bit. That's fine. They are tapped out of Bowmasters again. Leyline Binding is great. Let's just add some green. And I'll do white here. Go ahead and bind that. Draw 3 cards. I'm not going to be casting anymore up the Beanstalks. It's too dangerous. Okay, Beanstalk. We have a Murktide and URO. I think it makes sense to just Murktide here. They force that. That is okay. I'm going to go ahead and mark here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. Green, green, green. Or yeah, we don't need to play any of that. Okay, so we can find a Plow, hopefully. There's a Terminus, not really what we're looking for. Okay, so we've got a giant Murktide. I could go ahead and ponder and try to find a Plow. Or another Leyline Binding. There's a Plow. They're at 1 card in hand. We just Plow this. And now we can start attacking again. It's really tempted to just try to find a force just in case they have something, because they can stall me out. Did we know that was there? Yeah, I think we probably did. I'm just gonna let it go to the graveyard and I'll pass. So Brazen Bar would be really annoying here, just because we'd eat up more clock. We could probably win just through attacking with Endurance a whole bunch, but they will eventually get like some Nethergoyfs and stuff like that that are bigger than Endurance. We have a lot of triggers we have to pass through because of this carpet. So I'm just thinking about like time. That's all I care about. If you haven't gotten the impression from watching this video, this is an incredibly slow, click-intensive deck. Plays a lot better in paper. In paper, you can win really quickly because you're just like blah, 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 blah. But you have to like click all the mana for like returning URO, and you have to pass all the, like all the triggers and stuff. You have to put all the triggers in the stack. You can like do different things like yielding the triggers and things like that. Like always yield the Beanstalk triggers. That probably is something I should start doing. Okay, they're passing. All right, we're just looking for a force to shore up our offensive here. No such luck. I am going to just ponder here, and I'm looking for a force. Any order shuffle, give me a force. Okay, endurance number 2 is okay. Let's go to combat. And even if they do something here, like a brazen bar, we can just redeploy. Here's the brazen bar. I cannot interact with this, sadly. I'm going to take 3. Okay, and I'm just going to deploy a second endurance here and wipe their graveyard. Green, green, endurance, cast, hit your yard, and I will Murktide. Not worried about my own yard. Murktide. This will hopefully draw me a force. 1, 2, 2, 3, 5. Is that click enough? Okay. Yeah, whatever. All right. We've got tons of stuff going on. Yeah, we got a Plow. We can just get them out of the way. We just have to get in and deal the damage. Sadly, I did not draw a freaking force yet. Let's discard a Rumble. So we have Leyline. I've tapped badly, so I do have Leyline to clear the path if they have a blocker. That's fine. That doesn't matter. Okay, they're still dead. Okay, we won. 3-0. We timed out with a favorable board state, and I think we did lose one. I can't remember what deck it was because this league has been a freaking blur. My goodness, so much action. The list felt great. I think you need 3 Rumble. I think 4 is excessive. Endurance did feel good. It is a way to close the game a little earlier. It's good against most decks. What decks do we bring it in against? We definitely brought it in against red, like Painter. Wrath of the Skies, we did get to cast it and take out multiple permanents at once. I think the 1 Terminus 2 Wrath split is fine. The good thing about Wrath is that you can pay 3 and then X equals 3 and then get a Beanstalk trigger. That will be the last Beanstalk trigger you get. Oh, wait. No, actually, you could do that, and then you just don't use the energy, and you still get the draws. Yeah. So there is not disenergy. And I'm big on not having disenergy. Like, my opponent, I was a little tilted when my opponent played Grafdigger's Cage. I'm like, don't you have, Nethergoyf in your deck that you might want to bring back at some point? But the flexibility of this removal, like the fact that Leyline Binding hits literally any permanent that's on land is huge. That came up a lot where we were like, it would have taken a lot of mana to like remove certain permanents. So yeah, and I love putting this in against the show and tell player. That might have been the one that we lost. I can't remember if we lost that one. I think we may have lost the show and tell matchup. Was that even this league? Sorry. I played like 2 leagues today. A lot of MTGO, and I'm about to sign off and hang out with my kids. So let's just do some quick deck tech. I think if you take out the Rumble, and then you have Loam. Loam is another thing that just consumes so much clock, but it's so good. It was pretty good. Like, it didn't really come up this time. Wait. It may have been the previous matchup where like I waste locked my opponent. And I think Loam for waste is a very powerful play, and it might take a few turns to get it to work, but it is very good. I do like not playing with Yorion. You could definitely go Yorion, but like you really dilute your forces, and your forces are the best things you can be doing. Like Force and Leyline, these are the 2 reasons that you play Beanstalk. Suddenly you're like drawing cards off these, and we drew a lot of cards off Beanstalk. That final round we had 3 Beanstalks. Our opponent did not have a prayer other than the clock. Like they're basically staying in it, hoping we run out of time. But we have 3 Murktides, and I've tried playing fewer Murktides, and I think 3 is the right amount because you do need to be able to end the game. Now your opponent could in theory surgical your URO or surgical your Murktide or do something to keep you off of that line. But yeah, I think it's fine. 2 carpets feel fine. I actually think we could go up to 3. Carpet was so good. And when I played this deck at Eternal Weekend, I played basically this 75. I was playing 4 Murktides, I think. I was like 4 Murktides. I don't think you need 4 Murktides. Like I've come around on Beans to thinking like even 10 cards, the draw off Beans is plenty, and we've got 11. And in theory, we've got lots more in the sideboard in Terminus and Wrath. Ground Seal doesn't necessarily. Was it the Nadu deck that we lost to? I can't remember. I think Nadu we went to time. No, we didn't go to time. I think they had that was the one we lost to without going to time. And I've been losing a lot to Nadu Breakfast. It's a very strong deck. Lavinia didn't really shine here, but she is a good card. I do kind of wonder with the main deck, or the 4 main deck Leyline, the Leyline Binding, if you really even need this card, because it's really best against Omnitel. And we did play against Sneak and Show, but it was Sneak and Show with Omniscience, and it was kind of a rogue build, but she wasn't very good there. So I do think maybe you don't need her, but what would you put in there? I don't know. The other thing we could put in the deck is like an additional permanent hate card, like a Prismatic Ending. That's just pretty good general purpose, but there are matchups where it doesn't matter, like Oops All Spells, it does nothing. Reanimator, generally it does nothing. Leyline Binding, it always does something. Like you can always hit something, or you're at least casting it and drawing a card or multiple cards off Beanstalk. So I think the deck is too mana intensive to like, but I don't want to go any higher on lands. We didn't get flooded, luckily, but you can absolutely get flooded. I think the other thing is Tamiyo is just, I hate to say it, but she might be a one of. I hate to say that, but like one Tamiyo is fine because Tamiyo does a lot. And then if you're doing one Tamiyo, what do? You could go up to 4 Murktide in theory, and then that buffs your blue count, and it also like synergizes better with what the deck's doing. You could bring in like an Endurance into the main deck, and Endurance is a good control card. It also helps you keep yourself from decking, which can come up. So if we do that, maybe we want 2 Tamiyos. I don't think 3 Murktides is correct. We could put like a lot of people will play Mystic Sanctuary, but I'm not impressed with it. I haven't been impressed with it. If we went up to 3 Carpets, like very few people are playing the card that punishes Carpet, which is Leovold. It might see increased play, but Leovold is really strong against Carpet because the trigger is not optional. So you're targeting them every turn and they're getting the draw card. I found that out at Eternal Weekend 2023. Pretty late into the series. It was like round 7. Somebody pointed that out and I was like, oh, damn. And then they just proceeded to like card advantage my face off. There could be room for a Null Rod. There could be, I don't think we, like obviously with an URO in the deck, we don't want to play Graph Digger's Cage, but I like those kinds of decks those kinds of cards that are just a hate piece that sits there and essentially shuts off like a certain line of victory. I would consider Ground Seal that. Remember to always take out your Loam when you're putting in Ground Seal. Yeah, I'm not sure. Really. I mean, maybe we go back up to 3 Tamiyo and we just play her more and we accept that she's going to be a pitch to force a lot of times. Yeah, but we want to have a high number of permanents in the deck and not too many non-permanents because Malevolent Rumble does sometimes whiff. Currently, we have... okay, let's take a look at... so 29 other... so if we count like the instants and sorceries, we have 4, 6, 12... 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I believe. 21 non-permanents. So if we go to our hypergeometric math thing, I think I said 21, so that leaves 39 hits. We're looking at 4 in our sample size. This should hit like 90+% of the time. 98% of the time. Okay. So again, I'm hoping I'm getting that right. But yeah, I think it's very reliable, but if you drop down to like 30, you only hit like 94% of the time. It's still pretty damn high. I don't think there's room for Narset in there. You could potentially put a Teferi in here. The reason for Teferi is it does screw a lot of your opponents pretty badly, and Teferi is a good card. But again, like the more you lean into Teferi, the more you have to worry about your opponent's potentially like bowmastering, and then how are you going to get rid of the bowmaster? You've got like really just 4 answers. This is not a great answer to it because it usually is going to trigger when you cast it. And Teferi is an answer to bowmaster in the sense that you can just plus it, and then they are forced to attack your Teferi, and then you keep Teferi around for a few turns and find something else to block. I feel like Endurance is actually like really good against bowmaster because it mitigates the risk of, you know, like bowmaster weenie beats disrupting your creatures. So one thing you could do is go down at Tamiyo and go up at Teferi, but the risk in that is you're making the deck even more mana intensive. So here's my crazy thing. A lot of these matchups, there's going to be a lot more tempo out there, a whole lot more. And Carpet is really good against Harbinger of the Seas because if you get it out, then you just don't have to worry too much about color fixing. So, and at the same time, I'm trying to think like Moon Stompy type decks. Yeah, it's not good against Moon Stompy. Yeah, I would have to do a sideboard map. I'm going to go ahead and build a sideboard map real quick. One second. And I'll include the sideboard map in the description below. You can see it. All right, we're back. I got some piano music in the background. It sounds like my son started playing piano. So let me walk you through my guide. So this is what I think I decided on for the next build. So first of all, Lavinia didn't come in any of these. Lavinia, I think maybe she came in one. Okay, so we got Nadu Breakfast here. She comes in here. And then I think Omnitel, I should create that category. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so here I've added all the decks that I think are still like a concern. I don't think Eldrazi is a concern anymore. We'll see what happens. Reanimator is here. So I'm going to assume this is like mono black style Reanimator. No, I mean, technically if it was mono black style, you'd want to bring in the Force Negations. But like, we'll say this is blue black, that it succeeds, survives. So it would probably look something like that. But here are the cards that like rarely come in. Like Terminus never came in at all. Right, Wrath does come in a few situations. Just it's coming in like Painter and Nadu Breakfast, so it'll come in like Moonstomp, like anything that involves Urza Saga. So that does give us 2 slots in the sideboard. The other thing I did was I moved one of the Force Negations out for Endurance. A lot of times when we're trying to stop something turn 0, Endurance does it too, like against Oopsel spells or against an opponent going off with Nadu Breakfast, like if they're using the Shuko, you know, for example, we can wait until they've gone through the thing and then Endurance them if they don't have the ability to target Self-Lit Illusionist at instant speed. But I think Endurance is good because it ups the clock and we're less reliant on making Murktide stick when they may have Brazen Borrower or other stuff to like slow down its arrival. And then we have a little bit more threats. I decided to keep the Tamiyos in. I think they're fine. Mana base, fine. Everything. The only thing, again, the only changes I made here was I think I took out one of the Rumbles because I think we do want to go down to 3. And I went up to 2 Endurances and up to 4 Forces inside. So again, there are 2 slots here. You can definitely argue that like if you're when in doubt, just throw this very expensive reserve list card in the sideboard. So no Rod comes in. And then if you're really worried about Nadu activation, you could play a card like this. It doesn't interfere with our deck at all. Curse Totem. This does not shut down. This does shut down like a lot of like elf type stuff. Activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. It has 0 impact on our deck. We don't have any activated abilities in this deck. Everything's ETB or just giant flying fatty. So I think these are good like kind of permanent hate cards. So yeah, these are all 4 permanent kind of like hate spells. Breath of the Skies, very good against like just a lot of the same things Terminus is good against. Like it'd be very good against elves, but it's also very good against Urza Saga decks. So I think this is better than Terminus, even though Terminus is exceptional. It's just I couldn't think of enough matchups where Terminus would be relevant. It's good against aggro, but you're not likely to run into aggro, and it's not necessarily a reliable thing to try to cast against Delver, for example. Wrath is a little bit more mana, but you don't need to line it up. So I personally wouldn't play Curse Totem. Like I'm just not that impressed with this card. It's really good against Nadu, but Nadu's not so common. I mean, it did win the Showcase Challenge and everything, but like I'm not convinced that we need additional cards to beat it. I think I just need to play tighter. I think what this should be is frankly just a prismatic ending. This should be the last card in the sideboard, in my opinion. And I'm going to go and update the sideboard guide real quick, and I'll show you how I think it would map. So prismatic ending can come in against Moon Stompy. It can come in against Painter. It can come in against Blue-Black Tempo. It's really good against Blue-Black Tempo, and it's really good against Delver. So I think that would be like the final card. I know it may sound like, oh, wow, it's just one slot. Are you really going to put that much thought into it? Yes, I put like a compulsive amount of thought into basically everything I put in my 75. And like it really bothers me if I go to an event and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this one card, because it does come up like over enough games. So we take a look at the deck now. We can see that, Wrath of the Skies is kind of our board wipe. The 4 Forced Negations are in the side where, frankly, I think they belong. I don't think the meta, certainly not what I've been playing over the past 2 days. It's not that combo heavy, actually. But if it is a combo deck that you're up against, you do want the Forced Negations. They're the best thing to be playing against Oops, against Omnitel, stuff like that. Hydroblast is still a 3 of for sure. Carpet seems like a 2 of. I think it is not necessary to go above 2. I know Anzi D, who this deck is named after, because I originally started with like an Anzi D 80 card deck and like gradually worked it down and simplified it. And that's how I kind of arrived at this. But yeah, I don't think that you need to play more than 2. Lavinia is a 1 of, Ground Seal is a 1 of, Null Rod is a 1 of, and Prismatic Ending. And I actually need to work Null Rod into the sideboard too. All right. And I think the only place where that would come in would probably be, Painter. But there are other like artifact decks that you might encounter, like Blue Painter or, and this is like Red Paint. Yeah. But it does come in like somebody's playing the Epic Gamble, or they're playing, any sort of like Storm type deck, you do want to bring it in. And I do think that it's better than Collector Oof, because... But is it really better than Collector Oof? I mean, Collector Oof can clock an opponent, and they could like remove it with a creature thing. I don't know. Collector Oof may actually be better, because we're usually going to have green mana. There might be a situation where you mulligan really hard and you don't have it. Like, I don't know. If you don't own a Null Rod, I don't blame you. They're freaking ridiculously expensive. They need to print some functional thing. I know that would piss off the people that are hoarding their Null Rods and stuff. And I generally do not like the reserve list. And I even as somebody who owns like play sets of like FBB dual lands and stuff like that, I'd be totally happy if they decided to abolish it. But I know that there are a lot of collectors out there who basically their retirement is in cards like that, and they would be upset if you just started reprinting Null Rods, even though it's a freaking staple card that everybody needs in Legacy. Like it just comes up so much. You probably just need one, but still, is it like $100 or something like that? Yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited to play some more leagues with this list. I'm so happy that Control's back. It feels very powerful. Sowing Mycospawn was single-handedly oppressing us. And now that boot is off our throat, I think us Control gamers are going to be able to charge we're going to be able to do lots of different variations of Control, but this is just my jam. Like Beanstalk, drawing lots of cards, playing powerful spells. Leyline Binding is awesome. I made fun of the original announcement, like Leyline Binding, who cares? Like, but then Wizards didn't tell us that they were going to print Up the Beanstalk, which like makes Leyline Binding an incredible removal spell. So I feel like with Up the Beanstalk, Leyline Binding is just, it is definitely worth playing as Xander's Lounge to be able to pay 1 mana, draw cards, and exile permanents. So anyway, I'll stop waxing poetic about this deck, but I love it. I'm having so much fun playing Legacy, and look for more leagues like this. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you watch me go through this entire deliberative process, fine-tuning the deck and everything like that, please consider liking the deck, the video, and this is so important. Just tell your friends. Like when you go to play Legacy, like, hey, have you checked out Be Excellence channel? Like he's working really hard to be the best and to share like every thought. Like I'm not just jamming like, okay, let's play like this silly brew or whatever. I'm really trying to get better at playing these control decks, these tempo decks, these combo control decks, and basically anything with Brainstorm and Force of Will in it. That's my jam. So until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.